Really?
And we're live! Back on Is It That Bad? Once again, my lovely co-host, the one, the only, Annie Banks.
Hello.
And Mark's here.
I guess he's here. Hi, Mark.
Hi. Well, this time Annie's computer is fully charged and plugged
It's
in.
working. Oh my goodness, that was a fiasco, and I apologize.
Oh,
at least you gave us a warning.
I did. Yeah, I watched my little battery tick down, and I was like, ooh. So I was screwing with it on the side. I was trying different angles. I was trying holding it up. I was trying to see if I could bend the wire or do something.
Totally sounds like Meet the Feebles.
That's how you know what? I'm actually just telling you a subplot of Meet the Feebles that could be also described as me trying to act as tech support for myself.
There you go.
Pretty much.
But yeah, no, my laptop is up and running. She is charged. She's ready to go. And I'm surprised that I didn't die while I was watching Meet the Feebles, intentionally this time.
So, Meet the Feebles. We got the question, is it that bad?
Wait
now, together.
Wait, hold on.
Hello,
yes,
Chris.
It is that bad.
It is so bad.
It's that bad.
So bad.
So this is Peter Jackson's sophomore film. This film takes place directly after Bad Taste. And I actually realized if you go back and rewatch, yes, I rewatched this film.
You rewatched me?
I did actually, because I was looking up some stuff on it.
I admire you and your dedication.
I rewatched this film. And
Did you
yes,
take notes?
if you know, they're all just right here. You really don't. There's nothing to take notes on this film. It's just it's hot. It's a hot mess. But if you look in the crowd when they're actually filming the variety show, you can actually see some of the guys from Bad Taste. Throughout the crowd.
Very cool.
Which I've never seen Bad Taste. I just know what the guys in it look like. And that was his first film.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to an earlier film. This guy basically did Muppet porn, and then 11 years later went on to direct one of the greatest film trilogies of all time, Lord of the Rings.
We all start somewhere,
Well,
whether
maybe he thought it was something different. Maybe he thought it was midget porn.
He wrote, directed, and produced this film.
You can't tell me that he didn't
all
know what he was getting himself into. He's 3 for 3.
I thought maybe he had just directed it, it was something that was brought to him, he was told to. Because young directors all the time, they get forced into things. No, he wrote it, he produced it, and he directed it.
Okay, he helped write it and helped. He definitely directed it, but he helped write it.
He has a writing credit. He may have not penned the script for himself the entire way through, but he did throw in some of his 2 cents.
Yeah.
I will tell you, before we get into how much of a hot mess this film actually is, I do have to say one high point of this film that this film is actually fantastic for is its use of puppets, mascots, and animatronics.
Yes.
The team behind the actual creation of these characters, their movements, their fluidity, just how fantastic each one of these individual characters and all their actions are, they did fabulous. And, they deserve an Oscar for that. However, Meet the Feebles is never going to be nominated for an Oscar because it is a hot piece of mess.
Well,
Meet the
it could have
Feebles
last
is a
year.
crime. I think it is a crime against humanity besides the puppetry. I think if Frank Oz saw this, he'd be rolling. He'd just be spiraling,
Yeah.
Again, this isn't Frank Oz. This isn't the Sesame Streets or your Yodas. Or it could be. It could be. But my goodness. I think Kat, you raised the one point that was very good about this film was the use of practical effects and artistry compared to, using CG or any other stand-ins. There are no humans in this film.
No. It's all creatures.
It's all animatronics. So I think that is the one thing that we can compliment Meet the Feebles on is its use and creativity for casting without actually having to cast.
I feel bad for that guy running in high heels.
Jesus. Jeez.
So, should we get into it? Meet the Feebles is
well, what's there to dig into? You just want to try to forget about it.
Meet the Feebles is basically a cast of performers that are putting on a variety show. And we've got like the sword thrower. We have, you know, the star of the show, which is this hippo that has an eating problem and is in an abusive marriage with the producer slash like owner. Yeah, they're married.
Oh.
It's
owner of the show, the walrus.
Yeah, Heidi and her husband.
And the walrus has a side piece, which is a cat. There's a very uncomfortable sex scene. I never again want to see a walrus and a cat getting it on ever again.
Never. That should not
Never
have happened
again.
in the first place, but it sure did.
Don't even know how that.
There's so many like really gross sex scenes in this film.
It's very vulgar.
It is so vulgar.
It's
and
very vulgar and very visually offensive.
Yeah.
And like I looked up so many different things on this, and they're saying, oh, well, it's about freedom and it's about looking at issues with stereotyping and issues with sexuality and coming out and like dealing with eating disorders and this and that. And I'm just like, dude, this movie's a hot piece. It's crazy. And there's so much going on in one film. And it's a little overwhelming.
It's very overwhelming, especially with those very important social themes that you bring into play with the eating disorders, the sexualities, the self-expression, stereotypes, and all of that good stuff that they really, really try. Try. And I just think that there's so much ambition with trying to balance this out as a very raunchy comedy and a statement piece that it loses itself in more of the raunchy comedy and it does statement piece. And it kind of makes a joke of these issues that are trying to be about like amplified.
I'd say like the only theme that was throughout that I think they dealt with way more effectively than any of the others was drug abuse.
Yes.
Like the way they handled drug abuse in this, I think was very well done.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drug abuse in this was definitely looked at like, hey, this happens. It's really hard. There's a lot of different things that can go into it. It can be like an abusive relationship, or it can be, you know, you survived Vietnam or what have you. I mean, all this crazy things that are going on there, and actually seeing someone going through withdrawals.
It does do a nice job with some of those issues, some over others, you know, but very difficult subjects to touch on, especially through a medium where it's very unorthodox to bring that to light. I would never, if you told me that, like, even last week when you're like, we're going to be watching this movie, and I was like, oh, cool. You know, when I watched it, I was like 5 minutes in, I'm like, I'm over this. I'm so done. I'm sorry. I kept, I was laughing at myself, like, Kat, I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to I'm going to find something even better for you guys next week. And how ridiculous this movie is. Like, it's very uncomfortable, but I think you have to find comfort in that discomfort when it touches on very real elements in a very non-human way. Is it that bad? Absolutely.
Yes.
I would not wish this upon my worst enemy. But it does do, you know, besides from the artistry aside, I think that there's a deeper meaning that you really don't get to see from the surface appeal of it.
So, I mean, if you really think about it, that's prelude to BuzzFeed, yeah?
I want a BuzzFeed quiz that's going to match me up to what main character I am.
I would.
Uh,
I'd like to be the director of the show. I want to be the little fox that's singing about sodomy because he was
no.
hilarious.
No.
He's my favorite character. He's such a queen
Oh.
and he's so fierce and he cuts everyone down. And he's so fantastic. I thought he was great. Every scene that he's in, I'm like, yes, we need more of him.
The theme song.
And in the like end things, which like, what are they doing now? Kind of things when it was rolling through the credits and everything. Apparently, he did another show talking about the massacre of the Feebles. It's like, I want to watch the massacre of the Feebles.
Massacre of the Feebles.
I want to watch him putting on a show about the massacre of the Feebles.
You know this guy is just ready. He's working on Meet the Feebles, and
He was a star. he had his whole song and dance in his back pocket.
He was just thinking about manslaughter the entire time.
By the way, massacring everybody doesn't solve your problems.
It doesn't.
Ask any serial killer. They're going to give you the same answer.
I couldn't stop laughing when she literally just jumps out in front of her and she's like, now come on, massacring everyone's not going to solve your problems here. And it's like, you didn't think she was going to shoot you? She's shooting everyone and you just ran right in front of her.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Dear
God.
She really wanted to just be the Samaritan of that situation, and she just played herself.
She thought she was going to be able to talk her down. Dude, there were so many times when I was watching this, I was like, Annie's going to kill me. Annie's going to kill me. I was like, Annie's going to kill me.
Massacre may not solve my problems, but it may mean that I will never have to watch Meet the Feebles again.
I literally got to that song that he does, and I'm like, you know what? It was all worth it. If she kills me now, it was all worth it. That's why I sent it to you. And I was like, sorry, not sorry. I had that song stuck in my head.
You just saw the clip of the video. You're like, nope.
I saw red, and when I was typing, I got the song stuck in my head. I misspelled Feebles, and I was like, that's how bothered I am. Oh, gosh.
You're welcome. You were fully welcome.
I'm still thinking about how they tried to just go away from like mammals, and they had worms and like ants and shit in there.
Oh, they had a giant spider.
They had spiders.
That was so weird. Did you not remember that on the docks?
The cockroach?
No, it was a giant spider.
Oh, we're talking about the spider, yeah.
The giant spider when they were doing the drug deal. And then it grabbed that big bulldog and like bit his head off.
There's
and I was
so
like,
much going
why
on.
didn't you kill the rat?
The rat.
Kill the rat. He's a rapist. Freaking rat. I was so happy when the rat died.
He had
Spoilers.
No, he doesn't.
I was so happy when he died.
That was a good moment. That was a fun moment.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, I still can't believe this film exists.
This is a gift.
This is one of those that
I'm really curious if it actually made it.
Bad.
I want to know if it actually made it to theaters in 1989.
Do you think it made it to theaters?
It may have.
I don't think it did. Because you have to remember back in
VOD?
Back in the 80s, there was a huge movement to like the video stores.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You know? So
I just want to know how it's got a 6.7 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
Because it's that terrible.
6.7, that's not bad.
I think it's just like that cult following where it's just like, I shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah.
But you have to, because you're told you can't watch something. So you want to watch it.
You have to watch it. You have to go out of your way and you have to find it.
It's like Cannibal Holocaust. You're told you shouldn't be watching this. So you feel like you need to go out of your way to watch it at least once.
Yeah. If its name is Cannibal Holocaust, I think you're missing out on a lot if you don't watch it.
Did that just say New Zealand?
So it came out
$80,000
in the box
office. Wow. Its budget was $750,000.
So it tanked even harder.
It made $80,000 at box office. Its budget was $750,000.
It didn't even break even.
Nope.
Wow.
It's because of all that sodomy.
It's that sodomy song.
It just felt a little odd to me. I'm sorry, I've been singing that song in my head for days.
I know. You've been singing it to me as well.
You know, I
he
remember
hates it.
something very similar coming out in 2018. It was Melissa McCarthy in the Happy Time Murder. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
No.
I know what you're talking about.
No. Oh my god, I'm watching Meet the Feebles, and I'm like, if Miss Melissa McCarthy was here, I'd be watching the same thing.
I don't think Melissa McCarthy's that funny.
I don't think so. I don't know. Isn't she cast as Ursula?
Is she?
I think she is.
Huh. I have a friend of mine that's a huge Melissa McCarthy fan.
How?
And I don't get
Why?
it.
Is she
I don't
okay?
get it. I don't think it's funny. I don't think they're necessarily interesting films that she and her husband create.
You know what?
Yep.
I liked, but didn't she do like a sitcom with Kevin James?
Yeah, it's like
That was
Mike and Molly
fine.
or whatever.
That was fine, I guess.
I know her from Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
She played Suki on
yeah.
Gilmore Girls, and I loved
Gotcha.
Gilmore Girls growing up.
Gilmore Girls was great.
You know, but
At least she didn't play Suki in
True Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have watched it if she were Suki.
Suki.
Chris Barrett says, for all we could know, the Meet the Feebles could have been made so the studio could write off their taxes.
That's possible.
I mean, they need at least one property to claim, though, you know.
As a loss, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense, actually.
It could have just been one big ploy or one big scapegoat to just push all of that monetary need onto.
Yeah. It was all puppets. You didn't have to pay real
You don't have to
actors.
pay anyone what you do, but you don't
Well,
have
you
to, you know,
do.
but you do.
You do.
There are no, you aren't you don't have the liability for any stunts, any, you know, extra needs on
likeness.
set. Yeah.
And even you don't have to pay anyone for you know, like the media circuit. You don't have to pay them to do different things like a red carpet, Just put Peter Jackson in front of a camera and just have him talk.
I kind of want to see like a Garfield style interview. Instead of Bill Murray, it's the puppets from Meet the Feebles.
Yes.
And that's how they did I wish that's how they approached their press. Where they had the puppeteers and the voice actors or whoever with their puppet, the respective characters.
Have you ever seen Greg the Bunny?
I have not.
You need to watch Greg the Bunny.
Okay.
When was that? 2008?
It was before then, hon. I think it was like 2004.
Oh yeah, it was
maybe?
2004.
So Greg the Bunny, it stars Seth Green.
Oh my god.
And his roommate
Hey, he
best
was on
friend
Frame.
is a little bunny puppet
Okay.
named Greg. And he gets a part on this TV show or whatever. And it's a really kiddie show and da-da-da-da. But it's a very adult-themed
He is very
show.
crude as well.
And the background and everything. And it was fabulous.
It was before the Pipple with the cigar in his mouth.
Insult the puppet comic dog, whatever.
Yeah.
I know they argued at one of the
But
award
Greg
shows
the Bunny
or
was
whatever.
before.
Greg the Bunny was fantastic. Greg the Bunny was well before its time.
Oh yeah. If it had come out a few years ago, it would have been awesome.
I know they tried to do a spin-off with Abe Sapien from the show.
Okay.
And they had Rosanna Paziano on it.
Okay.
Which you might know her from Nerdy Nummies and like Scream Queens.
Mhm.
But it only lasted like 3 or 4 episodes. You know?
Okay.
But yeah, if you have a chance, I would highly suggest Greg the Bunny. It's way better than this.
It's way better than its potentials. Okay. I'll have to look into it because things like,
It's just
adult.
one season, and it's a quick season.
Oh, even better. Adult television that has more a childlike or more youthful theme is so interesting because it can go either ways. Where in this case, like Meet the Feebles was not that great.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was that bad.
It was.
But you can take, there are ways of manipulating the genre and having these inserts where you can have the same concept and have it work out really, really well.
Yeah.
I'm not, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of. It's same thing with like adult cartoons in a way. You think about BoJack Horseman or other really similar pieces of art like that. And while it appears very soft on the outside, it's a lot more than that.
And I feel like since we're talking about like something like, puppetry and animation, which stereotypically is for children, but like adult ones and everything, I feel like I should shout out our good friend at Puppet Forge, Gordon Smuter.
Oh, yes.
As well as Transylvania Television. I know our puppet Lawrence came from Puppet Forge. And they do some crazy things over there. We also, Legend and I both interviewed Gordon Smuter at Baltimore, I believe, Baltimore Comic-Con. And he was fantastic. He was a lot of fun. And it's like we got to interview him, and we also got to interview Yeti, an actual puppet.
Very
that
cool.
was a lot of fun.
That's so much fun where, these artists are so involved with their work and they bring on these puppets or these other characters and they incorporate it into whatever interview or piece of media that they're working on. They're so dedicated.
I think Chris has a good point here.
Do you think that the puppets from Meet the Feebles unionized?
I don't think they had time because they weren't syndicated yet. Also, I also don't think they were unionized because remember when that huge like steamroller or whatever came through and just flattened a bunch of them out?
That wasn't a steamroller. That was a barrel.
Barrel steamroller, same thing. It flattened a bunch of them out.
It reminded me of Donkey Kong.
And even
yeah.
The sword thrower's assistant who died.
Oh my gosh, just get him off stage.
Yeah, just get her off stage. She's bleeding on my stage. She's bleeding on your stage, but yeah, just get her off. Just get her off.
Well, hi, Captain Comics.
Ahoy.
Ahoy. Ahoy, Captain.
Ahoy.
Yep.
Oh, Meet the Feebles.
No, the puppets from the Feebles crossed the union lines to make the movie. Oh, I
want someone to talk to Peter Jackson about Meet the Feebles in like this day and age. Just pick his mind a little bit. Just see what he's working, like what he wanted to accomplish through this. Something so cursed, like truly cursed.
Do you think this is like his dirty little secret? Or do you think that he'll like fully claim this film?
I don't know. I think that's a good question.
Because I've seen directors go both ways when they're like, yeah, that was my film. That was my da-da-da. Like 100%. That's my baby. And then some of them are like, yeah, the studio and, rushed timelines and things had to get out. And I just really hoped it would never see the light of day. Another thing that really bothered me, this film is not, it's not high def. It's not high quality. The visuals are off. This film, I think, is due for a Blu-ray cut. I'd like to see this film actually get that upgrade, get that restoration work, and maybe get released by a Scream Factory or an Arrow.
No.
And get that. but to get
cut of Meet the Feebles when.
But like the audio's off, the visuals off, the camera multiple times just gets blurry, and
it's a very rushed, very thrown together piece of cinema.
What are you Googling?
I'm going to tell you why this is a no.
He's going online to start his Meet the Feebles cut, extended cut, the Jackson cut.
No, let's see. Okay, so you said it made 8,000 in the box office.
It made 80,000.
$8,000. $80,000.
It cost
went to go see this?
750,000.
Who
It was
on
negative 6. Oh my god!
It lost $670,000. You know what? There are movies today that lose millions. $670,000 is not that much in the grand scheme of things today.
Think about this though. Minimum wage back then was almost $2 to $3, and that was high. So think about inflation. This would have been millions of dollars lost if you had
That's
done it
true.
today.
You got me there.
And think of, you make a good point because that number seems very small compared to larger losses right now. But I think just because the studio didn't have the resources to bounce back, well, they can't put something out 2 months later, 3 months later, and gain all of that, $600,000 back within a weekend.
Yeah.
With something new and exciting. They kind of took out, they took their losses and they're like, okay, Now Peter Jackson working on more Tintin and more, apparently a Beatles documentary. For all you Beatles fans out there, good for you. We need more.
But then that was also $80,000 in the box office in New Zealand. So did it really even release in the States?
That is a question.
New Zealand. New Zealand is such a small country in comparison to the United States. Just because the population is very limited.
So what you're saying here is in New Zealand, he did meet the Feebles. And then 11 years later, they actually trusted this man to run around on the countryside and film Tolkien and bring Tolkien to life.
They were hoping he fell off a cliff.
They were hoping they'd shove him in instead of the ring.
Mordor.
Maybe.
I mean,
he brought him back
was,
to the Shire so he could disappear forever.
They even built the Shire, and that's still a place you can go visit in New Zealand.
I want to go visit the Shire so badly. I want to go to New Zealand.
It looks gorgeous.
It looks so great.
Oh, what was it? Elijah Wood?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they even made him do the New Zealand safety airplane thing. So every time we got on a plane to New Zealand, you saw him doing a video of saying, make sure you fasten your seatbelts. These are the emergency exits.
Oh, I'm sure he got paid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. I bet he's like a little New Zealand star over there.
Probably.
Those commercials were awesome, by the way.
Those were hilarious.
I bet those were brilliant. Elijah Wood. He's so funny to me because he just kind of exists. And that's it. He did the Lord of the Rings and he's like this wonderful actor. But he just kind of what is he doing now?
He's doing a lot of indies now.
Is he really?
He did a movie called, was it called Rear Window or Back Window or something?
Oh shit! I'm supposed to watch Rear Window for a film class.
Not the original Rear Window, because the original Alfred Hitchcock Rear Window is fantastic.
That's what I'm supposed to watch. I'm very excited.
That's fantastic. It's one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films.
Oh, very cool. I'll have to talk to you about it once I think I
we don't record. Okay, Meet the Feebles is better than Justin Bieber.
I would like to see Justin Bieber self-insert his puppet character into the next Meet the Feebles.
They might eat him.
I would.
The walrus ate the rainbow fish.
No. The fox was just talking about Justin
disturbing.
Bieber and the sodomy song.
The sequel, he's dating the fox.
Oh,
yes,
wait.
He's dating the director in the sequel.
He left
Good for
Selena for
him.
the fox.
Isn't he married now or something? I don't know.
I don't know what that crazy Canadian's up to.
But he also just did a horror film that I think is up for a bunch of horror community awards.
Wait,
It's like
Bieber
no. We're talking about Elijah Wood still.
Oh, okay.
But it's called Come to Daddy, I think. And
Okay.
it's literally like an adult son going back to like his father or whatever, like his estranged father. And it's pretty twisted. It's been on my to watch list for a while, but I haven't actually
That
gotten
came out in
around to it. But
2019. Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things. Like it got big like last year, since everyone had like lockdowns and a lot of theaters closed, and you couldn't go out and do whatever.
Oh
But
yeah, no,
I've
he's a
heard a lot of good
very
things about it.
he's
Oh,
a very
uh,
talented actor. It's same thing with like he's doing like the Andrew Garfield route, where he does these big productions and then he just kind of like goes incognito and then works on a bunch of indies. I would like to see them work together. I would like to see Andrew Garfield and Elijah Wood come together.
I will always love Andrew Garfield because he went to a Comic-Con Spider-Man panel in a cheap Spider-Man costume and just ripped his mask off when he was in the middle of a question in front of a bunch of like fangirls. Oh yeah.
I like Andrew Garfield. I
Mad
wish I
respect.
liked Spider-Man more.
I still thought it was really funny whenever we saw Ryan Reynolds running around LA in his Deadpool costume.
Yeah, he straight up like stole half the Deadpool costumes.
He would
I'm
actually
not
go.
surprised.
Well,
Yeah.
if you watch it, actually, if you find him on YouTube, he would actually go to people like on playgrounds and start talking to them.
Mhm.
And they'd be like,
Ryan
"Oh,
Reynolds has one personality, and it is Deadpool
Or Detective Pikachu.
or Detective Pikachu, which was so underrated.
It's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It was
You could
such a
also
fun movie.
you could also see Deadpool in Waiting."
Yeah.
Did you guys
Ryan
hear that?
Reynolds just plays a really good Ryan Reynolds in every
He's a great
season.
Ryan Reynolds.
He's like the greatest Ryan Reynolds ever. And you really don't see him in a hell of a lot other than Ryan Reynolds.
Wait,
but
what
he's
about Buried?
fantastic as Ryan Reynolds. Yeah, you did that.
He wasn't
He's really
funny in
great
that
at playing
movie.
himself.
I mean, like he's done a few like serious roles here and there, but he's known for playing Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of like Will Smith playing Will Smith.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like they just play themselves and it's great. It was like God rest his soul, Robin Williams playing Robin
Oh,
Williams.
he was amazing. Yeah.
He was the best Robin Williams there will
He
ever
was
be.
the best Robin Williams, and he had just a shining person. He's one of my favorite comedians, because he was just so charismatic and lively and, always upbeat. Same thing with Ryan Reynolds and with Will Smith or whoever's really good at playing themselves, is that they have that very chipper personality.
Yeah, it translates on the screen.
It does.
No, Chris Barrett, there's not a sequel to Meet the Feebles, thank God.
Would you potentially want to see a sequel to Meet the Feebles?
I'd rather run into a wall.
Is Peter Jackson directing it again?
If Peter Jackson came back to write and direct.
And is he bringing back the Fox? Because I know most of the cast is gone, but is he bringing back the Fox?
So if Peter Jackson picked up where Meet the Feebles left off.
And signed on the Fox, yes.
And signed on the Fox.
Yes.
Yes.
You have Elijah Wood in there.
You can bring Elijah Wood. just have him walk on stage as Elijah Wood and have him audition for it and then have the Fox say, you know what? That was horrible.
No, hear me out.
Horrible. Just kick him off the stage.
He comes back as a hobbit. He'd be the same height as the puppets.
No, he'd probably still be taller than some of them.
How tall is a hobbit supposed to be?
Hobbits are supposed
3
to be
feet? 2
like
feet?
2-3 feet.
Something like that.
So yeah.
Tiny?
Tiny. Puppet height.
Puppet height.
Puppet height.
Puppet height. Puppet height. I would watch. You know what? I would watch it just for
3 Godzillas tall.
Oh God.
Godzilla is now a form of measurement on. Is it that bad? So 3 Godzillas in height.
You can't do this, honey. That's not how this works.
That's how it works on this show because it's
on this show
that bad.
Getting rid of the metric system, and we are introducing.
We're
Godzilla
hyped by Godzilla. That's a form of measurement now.
A
It's
hobbit would
canon.
be-
I said it. Three
Cat
Godzillas.
just makes the rule. I'm just human. And I guess you are too.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
That's not how this works. That's just not
That's
how
how
it
it
works.
No idea this works. No, I would watch. I would even if he even did like a little like show or a little sitcom or something for the Feebles. I wouldn't be opposed to like a sitcom.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
week by week basis.
Maybe even like little shorts.
Yeah.
That'd be
It
great.
doesn't have to be a full blown sequel. I know it'll be just as god awful
Oh yeah.
as the first one. Yeah. And if it's any better than the first one, I'll stop watching it. Like full stop. I need it to be as abysmal.
It's got to be bad.
It has to be bad.
It's got to be bad.
Like I want the camera to shake a little bit. I want
It has
audio to be off.
totally out of focus.
Yes, I want it to be blurry. You just see these fuzzy little figures bouncing around.
And I want to see a poodle and a hedgehog just go
Yep.
at each other.
A poodle and a hedgehog got married.
They
Which-
should.
Which I'm sorry, that poodle totally reminded me of Five Nights at Freddy's.
He kept saying,
Yeah?
he's like, is that Chica? He's like, that's the bird from Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm like, you mean Chica? And he's like, yeah. I was like, that's not a bird, that's a dog. And he's just like, but it looks exactly like her. There was even a chicken in this, and he thought that the dog looked more like Chica than the chicken did.
And then
I can see where you're coming from, Mark.
I was also very drunk.
Yeah.
Oh God, I just remembered the elephant chicken hybrid baby.
I wish I had never seen that.
That was something.
Also, after seeing this, I was like, thank God Annie never worked at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh,
Right.
thank God I never worked at Chuck E. Cheese.
Because then all of a sudden you'd be looking at the animatronics and be like, no,
Dude,
no,
dude.
you're not giving sodomy today.
There's an entire laundry list of films that you could totally watch if you wanted to be terrified of Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese itself is terrifying as it is.
Yeah, it's a casino for kids. Let's
It's a
be honest.
casino for kids, and those animatronics are so out of date.
And the beer
just
was always
looks-
warm.
They look
I've
great,
never actually been inside a Chuck E. Cheese.
You've never been inside a Chuck E. Cheese?
No.
They had a bouncer at the door to check your
I
freaking
went-
hand to make sure that it like
You're
You're actually
stamped.
go-
They stamp
Yeah.
your
I went
hand.
to Great Skates a lot, and they had like a little mascot that ran around, but it was a person in it. It wasn't an animatronic.
It wasn't a
I hated
horrifying rat.
No, it was just some weird, like, I don't even know what its mascot was. Did you know what that thing was?
I don't know. I remember tripping it once.
Was it like a hippo? Was it a dinosaur? I don't know. It was like some weird.
I don't
big
know,
thing.
But I
It was
remember
yellow.
making it fall over.
It was yellow and it had spots.
The thing I hated about Great Skates the most, though, is they had carpet on the walls. So in case you hit the wall, it wasn't going to be like a hard hit. It was going to be
Yeah.
carpet. But I got rugburn all the time.
Carpet on the walls.
Kind of like get him to the Greek, except it was more like a hard
Yeah.
carpet.
It's like Elvis's jungle room where he's got carpet on the ceiling.
But yeah,
Weird. They were onto something. I don't know what, but they sure had an idea.
yeah. I remember you can find a picture of Obama in there. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
That actually happened.
And then it shut down a year later.
Yep.
Oh.
And then it came back
It's not Great Skates anymore.
No, it came back last year.
It's Skate Great America. Some
The Great
nonsense
Skates
like
of
that.
America.
I don't know.
They're really trying to hold on to that brand, huh?
Yeah, they
It's
tried.
something.
It's something because in the back of that build, actually behind the building, is nothing but a used car shop.
I'm sure it is.
It's very sketchy.
It's
I-
sketch all over it. And then there's an airplane hangar there for some unknown reason now.
All those places are just fronts.
Hey,
They're just money laundering. Same like laundromats Or laundromats and mattress stores.
All cash business.
Mm-hmm.
I learned
Are
that
they?
on Mother's Day. Cash business.
Wait, they really call it cash business?
Yeah, because you put your cash in the machine for coins. You get coins there from the register. It's all cash.
Pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
Is that
Pretty
for
And
sure?
sketchy.
who's to say they're reporting all that?
I wouldn't.
No, there's no way of recording your transaction if it's cash.
Mm-hmm.
Then why do they have so many cameras?
I don't know. Make sure that you're not putting too much soap in the machine. I don't know.
I don't know. The last time I went to the laundromat to wash one of our comforters, there's a kid. Just one kid randomly running around in there. And I was like, who the fuck left their kid here?
Someone abandoned a child.
And they kept running up to me saying, hi. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Get away. It had to be no more than 2 or 3.
Oh no, they just left their kid at the
Just
laundromat.
abandoned their
Yeah.
child.
They did.
There's like, someone's gonna watch you.
And I couldn't really leave my washing station. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure my blanket would have been stolen.
So since before we get like too far off subject, well, it's kind of off subject too. They have a new animatronic movie that's coming out starring Nicolas Cage
Again?
next
Oh.
month. I think it's
Oh,
Willy's
Does
Wonderland.
Nicolas Cage really?
Oh, I've heard about this one.
I'm
Wonderland?
excited about it. So this apparently is supposed to be better than what like the Banana Splits was.
I was
this
gonna
is-
ask you if you've seen the Banana Splits. That seems like
We
something
own
you watch.
Yes, we own it.
Okay, that makes perfect sense because I was like,
Tra-la-la
you know, we're talking about
terror.
animatronics. I'm like, I bet she's seen the Banana Splits.
It's Tra-la-la Terror.
Oh, bull.
But this is like the studio's way of being able to make like a Five Nights at Freddy's movie without being able to make a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. And they have Nicolas Cage, which I will tell you, as much as people might want to like poke fun at certain things Nicolas Cage has done, he's done some fantastic indie films the last several years. Mandy was so amazing. Like
Mandy
That
was
was the-
really underrated. Mandy was very well done.
the
Mandy
color
was
of
a very
space
much acid trip.
was really cool as well. Very colorful in the same kind of like tone at certain points as Mandy
Mhm.
was.
I'm
But-
saying don't do acid, but watch the movie, and that's exactly what it's like.
The first time I watched Mandy, I was super drunk and I had no idea what was going on. But the second time I watched it, I was totally sober and I caught more of it. But then there were certain things that made sense the first time that made no sense. So I feel like you got to be like slightly buzzed to watch that movie and understand it completely.
It's one of
But
those
it's
where
a
you need
gorgeous
to have
film.
that nice middle ground where you can understand the plot, but it
Gorgeous.
heightens that experience a little bit more.
I watched a documentary on Mandy that they had available on Shudder, and they were talking about everything that went into it. And Elijah Wood actually had a big part in the behind the scenes of Mandy.
Really?
Yeah, he was featured
Interesting.
pretty
Wow.
heavily in that documentary, but just hearing everything that went into it and seeing the end product is like very, very solid film. So I will tell you, Nicolas Cage, he's got so much money. He doesn't have to work if he doesn't want to. So a lot of the projects that he's doing now, they're projects that are passion projects for him. So if he chose to do Willy's Wonderland, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm definitely going to watch it when it's available. So
And
I'm
looking
excited.
at kind of some of the trivia behind Willy's Wonderland, it says that Nick Cage has almost no speaking roles within this, or speaking lines of dialogue within the movie.
I haven't even seen the trailer for it yet.
I haven't either. but-
I've purposefully not seen the trailer for it because I want to go in blind.
It's already been debunked as a Five Nights at Freddy's. So there's no association with
Okay.
Five Nights at Freddy's, even though it's very, very similar. Which I find interesting because you would think that Five Nights at Freddy's being a very popular franchise, would somehow adapt their game.
If they're gonna make a 5 Nights at Freddy's, they have to cast Markiplier as
Mark
the,
Fishbacher.
Yeah,
as the security guy.
His whole 5 Nights at Freddy's just backlog on his channel is fantastic. Have him as the security guard and just keep making him come back for sequels.
Oh yeah, no.
Don't give him any sort of a script or lines or anything.
Just have the animatronics
and then just
show
have things happen and have him react to it. And I think it would be fantastic.
I think that would go over really well. Just because Markiplier is very reactive and he's very invested in whatever he plays whenever he streams. I know some of those streamers will like have a little box on the corner of their screen, you know, and they'll go through the game and they won't really have any reactionary response to the game that they're playing in any form, let it be horror or any other game that you are popular or that people popularly play through. They just kind of sit there, you know?
You want that involvement. You want that reaction, that bit of emotion there. I feel like that's a big reason that he's built the following and the backing that he has.
Oh, he has such
rightfully so.
Yeah.
Rightfully so, because his content is fantastic.
Oh yeah. And I think I prefer someone like Markiplier over PewDiePie or other gamers through YouTube that are very popular who have gotten so comfortable within their popularity.
Yeah.
That their content does not have that substance that it once had.
Yeah.
Like I remember a couple of years ago, there was a big thing, like a big campaign, a big push for PewDiePie to become the most subscribed to person on YouTube. And I was like, okay, why does he need this, you know?
Oh, him versus T-Series or whatever?
T-Series, yeah. It was a big ongoing thing. And I was like, okay, you know.
Which that was a really funny competition to watch.
So like, here's the thing. The thing about that was PewDiePie was a singular individual who built up a platform.
Mhm.
And mad respect for that, you know, all the controversy aside, all of the inappropriate content that he has put out there, things, you know, this, that, whatever. All that aside, for one individual to build up where he is, mad respect.
Oh yeah,
Versus
no, I'm not. There's no
T-Series.
diminishing that.
No, I'm just saying, like, T-Series is basically an entire country's platform on one channel. And for that to overpass one person and one person going back and forth, like, that was a big thing.
That was a huge thing.
It was everywhere. I know Jacksepticeye was really promoting it. I know Markiplier was really promoting it. Everyone was.
Yeah.
To this day, I've never checked out T-Series on YouTube.
I can't tell you what T-Series
I've never
is.
checked it out.
I can't tell you what they do. It's never, even after being so aware of T-Series.
It's all of India's content. There's just Indian content.
I know I wasn't subscribed to PewDiePie before all that, but I did subscribe to him after that.
Good for you.
There's a couple hilarious Bollywoods
Just because I was just kind of like, okay, you know, gotta support the little guy.
Actually, I'm sure you dig hard enough on T-Series, you can find the Bollywood Matrix.
We got the Matrix.
Now I want to see
T-Series. Is that the Matrix 4 that they haven't released yet? Just Bollywood?
I wish.
That'd be amazing.
I would love to see that.
Meet the Feebles, but Bollywood.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I'm in. I am so in.
Yes.
I'm in.
Yes.
I can't touch my face during pandemic and you guys are making me.
Well, you already washed your hands when you came inside. It's fine.
Did I?
Yes, I made you.
That's true.
I annoy you with that. It's fine.
Yeah.
You get in the car, hand sanitizer, get in the house, wash your hands.
Better safe than sorry.
You're still healthy.
For the most part.
All right. Before we
I'm down to
on
lunch.
too much more. Annie.
I would watch. I would watch the sequel, Meet the Feebles, if it was Bollywood.
Yes.
That's where I draw the line. If it is not, if it is anything less, and the fox isn't there, I won't watch it.
Just one more thing before I give you the floor. I just came up with this. Do you think this fox directed the What Does the Fox Say music video?
I would like to think so.
Caitlin, no.
Caitlin, yes.
Caitlin, no, that is not what a fox sounds like.
Yes,
I
it
made
does.
him watch that one music video so many
I'm
times.
gonna totally just destroy your little brains. It's a fox being torn apart in the woods does not sound like that.
And then I introduced it to our nieces and nephews. So then they started singing it. Oh, drove him nuts.
Oh yeah.
That is not what a fox says.
I wonder what that guy's up to nowadays.
Oh,
Isn't he still like a big pop star or something?
Yeah, he's a very big pop star still somewhere.
Was it Yves or Evis or
Yivas?
Yvis?
I think it's
don't know.
Yivas.
It was something. It was like YVIS.
I remember that. Yeah. I think the fox
say?
from Meet the Feebles was involved in some form or fashion. Yeah.
In my head canon, it's true.
Peter
That's all that
Jackson,
matters.
prove me wrong. Prove us wrong. If you cannot, it's headcanon.
Yep.
Sorry.
I mean, they are similar dance moves, so.
They are. The fox could be a choreographer. He could be on his way to something great.
Oh,
Ooh.
gosh. Why?
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, Annie, you have the floor, my dear. What are we going to be watching this next week?
Next week, we are going to be watching the B movie.
The B movie?
The B movie.
Isn't that like the Seinfeld movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
It's
God.
bad.
I remember promotions for this that he actually did a zip line off one of the buildings in LA.
Doesn't the bee like date a woman in this or something?
Mhm.
How would that work? I know. Okay, so I know I've talked about some pretty inappropriate things on this show.
I know how this would
but
work.
how would that work?
I know how this would work, but I can't talk about this on the film.
I mean, we've got one viewer. Chris Barrett wants to know.
A little stinger here and there. Getting all up in that flower, if you know what I mean.
So, my grandparents, when I was growing up, had a place in the
Why'd
country.
you go from the bees to the grandparents?
Shush! I'm
That's
talking.
not how
I'm
this
talking
works.
about bees. I'm talking about bees.
Well, where are
They
the
used-
birds?
Shush! They used to. They used to live in the country when I was growing up. They had like a little farm and everything. And shush!
What part of the country?
You know those strappy sandals that they stick on every little girl that just so they won't come off their foot, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the ones we saw in the Bible.
Well, running through the fields, your foot goes up, the sandal stays down when you're running when you're a little kid.
Yeah,
I
we've
kept
all seen
scooping at bees. I ended up having to not only see the doctor, I had to surgically have I forget how many stingers removed from my feet. And I had to I had to wear jelly sandals for like a year and a half after that happened. I thankfully am not allergic to bee stings. My brother's deadly allergic to bee stings because if that would have happened to him, it would have been really bad. But me, I don't know why. I got stung like 75 times and I'm fine.
Yeah, your brother who would call me up and say, "Mark, there's a bee."
He literally
There's a bee in the
calls
house.
me
Dear
up
God,
and makes me go over
I'm locked
to
in my
his
closet
house.
right now. There's a bee in the house. I need you to come and get it.
Okay, well, both him and his children are allergic to bees.
So you know what I
it's
did?
kind of important.
You know what I did? I just walked up and grabbed the bee and threw it outside.
I at least used a cup.
A
cup and a plate.
That's too easy.
Well, it needs to live. Bees are important.
Bees
So
are
what?
Bees are important
Not
for the world.
bumblebees.
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. The big fuzzy bees are the most
Sorry.
important.
The little
Not ground bees you're thinking about.
That's-
Ground bees are
We're
horrible.
talking about bumblebees.
We're talking
Oh,
about
we
big
are
old
talking about-
bumblebees.
Okay, those
They're
are
harmless.
They are harmless, but the ones that are like kind of like yellow jackets or
the ones
whatever else-
I got
the
stung
honeybees?
by were
No, not the honeybees.
the ground bees that like
Ooh.
land and they like
Ooh, yeah.
I got stung 75 times by those.
Ooh.
In my
Don't
feet.
like that. Don't like that. Oh,
It's not good. I'm not afraid of bees though.
wow. That's very
I'm
brave.
still to this day not afraid of bees. I still will go over to my brother's house and go get a bee if there's a bee in his house.
Horseflies. I'm afraid of horseflies.
Oh, those hurt when they bite
Those-
you.
Oh yeah,
Those hurt.
Yeah.
and they
just
don't
like
drown.
pinch you.
They don't.
They don't. I know this because I got bit by one as I was on a diving board, and it went down with me, and it just kept biting me. Just kept biting.
Because they're jerks.
It was
They're
on my back,
mean.
and I couldn't get it.
They are.
They're so.
Oh God, it's like those orange ladybugs.
Those aren't ladybugs.
The
Those
ones that
things
smell
bite.
really badly.
Those are Japanese beetles.
They bite.
I know, didn't you?
Thanks,
Actually,
Purdue. You
oh,
released
little-
them.
Those fucking bastards.
Yeah, Purdue.
No, the produce
like,
bags.
Produce
Was it
bags.
16, 17 years ago, they were doing an experiment with
It
those.
was not an experiment.
They were doing an experiment
It
there.
was not an experiment. They did it
with
to try
those.
to terminate the other beetles that were eating crops, but
Mhm.
instead turned the modified beetles they had released ended up taking over and then became a nuisance.
The invasive species has taken over, and they actually will attack like bumblebees
Yeah,
and
they made it
everything.
even
So
worse.
it's really bad. So if you see those like in your house or around or whatever, you're supposed to kill them.
Yeah.
We've been having a lot of stink bugs show up in my
Yep.
house.
Yep.
And I don't know
Welcome to
how
the
they make
Midwest.
this sure, but like I'll be minding my own business. I'm like, I'll look over and I'll just see a stink bug hanging out. And I'm like, how did you get in here?
Get a cat.
I
This
would
is my
love
best
to.
advice. Get a little cat and then just set him loose. Midnighter will see him and he'll turn into a little psychopath. Mayhem's the exact same way. Jean Grey, she doesn't care.
She'd be
She's just like, ew. And she walks away. Jean Grey is my little princess. She didn't want to have to do anything if she doesn't
She doesn't
have
want
to.
to touch anything.
Hi,
But
Carson.
Hi, Carson.
yo,
Oh, hi, Chris.
Oh, looks like Rumble's over.
who won? Carson, tell us who won.
But anyway,
I don't know. I don't really follow it. But dude, the Bee movie,
The Bee movie is a gift. It is. It's
I don't
notoriously
think
bad, but
I don't think
It's
I've
something
ever
else.
actually finished the Bee movie. I've seen so much of it so many times, but I don't think I've ever actually finished it.
it's so bizarre.
so I
I know my mom likes the Bee movie.
really,
I went to
I think she does.
I think I saw it in theaters when it came out.
yeah, talking about bees though. So I was at a horticultural
Convention.
convention or meeting or whatever.
Is this the one that was in Columbus?
No, there was in
Oh.
West Lafayette,
Oh,
but they had served us
Columbus.
lunch, right? And then immediately after, there's a specialist on bees. And I don't know what it was, but her saying bees over and over again became like very soothing, and half the room fell asleep.
Oh no!
It's important to listen to her, but she's like, and speaking of the bees, and like all over the speakers, it's just like a nice rumbling, and it's like, oh, bees, yeah. Like I did not mean to, but I totally like woke up because my head hit the table.
Speaking of
So-
Rumble, looks like Edge won the men's Royal
there you
Rumble,
go.
and Bianca Belair won the women's.
Is that Bel Air?
Belair.
Like,
Fresh Prince of
Belair.
Bel-Air. You guys
So here's
fucking
the story about
know these.
got out of the cab and smell you later. Yeah.
will tell you.
That's a prime example of Will Smith just being Will Smith.
Just being Will Smith.
He's just being Will Smith.
Run around being Will Smith.
And then he was the genie in Aladdin for some reason. Guy Ritchie directing Aladdin for some reason.
You know, the movie's good
We don't
when
talk about
actually
that.
Guy Ritchie. I wanted to like Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman, just because it reminded me so much of The Kingsman. And it wasn't.
no.
I don't even remember the plot of it. I think I saw it around this time last year and I was like, oh my God, Guy Ritchie, The Kingsman, you know? I was super excited. I just remember Matthew McConaughey being there, and I remember Colin Farrell, I think. But that was it.
So I know I kind of like poo-pooed the whole live action of Aladdin, but I will tell you, however, the actress that they had for Jasmine, that was Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
She was great. Everything else in that movie was horrifying, but she was solid.
Oh no, that I don't know why they're continuing to roll out these lines of live action Disney movies, especially from that age, what was it, the golden age or whatever they called it?
Yeah. You know what I want out of the live actions? Give me the Aristocats.
Oh my God, please. I loved the Aristocats as a kid.
I want to see Toulouse dancing on some keys with some paint on his paws.
You know how
that's what I
want to see.
I want to see O'Malley singing about being a cat.
Oh, that was such a good movie too.
I've seen that movie so many times.
You know, if they're going to do this, it's going to be nothing but a CGI fucking mess.
Okay, so here's the thing. Milo and Otis was all used with real animals. However, Milo and Otis was, to this day, it breaks my heart when I found out this was true, but Japanese company, they actually used real kittens for that waterfall.
Ooh.
It took them 11 shots.
It kind of broke my heart knowing that, because that was one of my favorite movies as a child.
Oh, yeah.
So wow. There are ways that you can use real animals for live action work, and it should happen. Like we did the Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Max the dog, and that is fantastic.
No, I know what you're talking about.
But there's ways you can use animals for live action and make it a success. There's also, don't kill innocent babies.
Hey, Drew, how many times do you have to reshoot that scene?
Oh, don't talk about that. You know what though? I think it's interesting that you say that, because there was no. You would think that there'd be regulation on animal abuse or anything else. Feebles. Sure, man.
Just Feebles.
But you also have to remember that they didn't have those laws back then.
I know. No, I know. I'm more interested
in other countries.
How they'll go about further films such as like Bambi, or why are they doing Bambi?
They're doing a live action Bambi.
They're doing a live action Bambi.
Wouldn't they all just fight with each other?
I want to see it more like.
If they did a live action Bambi, I want to be the hunter.
How? Okay, so how is a baby deer going to be hanging out?
Why are they making that a thing?
A bunch of bunny rabbits and playing with a skunk. Wouldn't they fight at some point or run away from each other?
12.
Wouldn't the skunk just like spray everyone because he's scared?
No, you understand that the Bambi would totally be that the cat checking out the Bambi, and also the mother deer running up and kicking that cat's ass so hard.
Yeah.
Andy, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. 12.
Are we gonna get a live action Brave?
No.
I want Merida. I
Bro.
want Merida and the bears, especially the little baby brothers as bears.
I
The bears running around.
Brave.
Yes.
Brave, and I want to see a live
Brave
action
so
Tangled.
Yes.
I loved Tangled.
Oh, that'd probably
That's
be
one of my
really
favorite
heavy
Disney movies.
though. the weave that it would require for that would probably be really heavy.
Worth it.
They better give that actress like full scalp massages like several times throughout the day because that's gonna hurt.
What do you think they would probably do CGI hair?
No.
No.
No, okay.
Okay,
So
it's Disney we're talking about here. You think they're gonna actually
in the
pay
10th
somebody to do
kingdom, in the 10th kingdom, the movie event, they gave the actress who
all
ended
5
up getting
VHSs.
cursed with that. Yes,
They're
I've
making
made
the
them watch
Hunchback
all
in
of it.
Notre Dame.
Are the gargoyles still going to be singing?
I
Isn't
would
that a period
really
piece?
hope so.
They better still be
They're gonna
singing.
make another Enchanted. Do you guys remember Enchanted with
I
Amy
do remember
Adams?
Enchanted.
I really liked Enchanted.
Did you watch Godmothered on Disney Plus?
Not yet. Should I?
She's in it. She's in
Okay.
it, and she's
Okay.
got a godmother.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's not what you think, but I really liked it. I was
Okay.
really hoping for like all the pretty sparkle dresses and like, you know, like a whole happy
Yeah.
ending, but it's not what you'd expect, but I still liked it.
Oh God,
Okay.
Chris!
I'll
A
have to put it
live
on my
action Lilo and Stitch would give me nightmares.
They are. I think it's in development, guys.
Stitch would be so cute.
I want one. I want a Stitch
Stitch
so
would be the
badly.
scariest shit you'd ever seen.
No, because they'd make Stitch the same way they made live action Pokemon.
No.
Guaranteed.
Live
They'd
action-
find a way to cute him up.
Live action Lilo and Stitch is currently in pre-production.
Yeah, probably because try not to give each other nightmares for what Stitch would look like.
Stitch was so cool. I want to see more.
Stitch
I
is
want
a
Okay.
scary little.
Polynesian, East Asian.
I had one of those giant Stitch stuffed animals when the movie came out,
No, you don't.
and my dog bit its head off.
Thank God.
Oh, no.
My dog Wishbone, yes, named after the What's the
Oh,
Story
Wishbone.
Wishbone. Yeah. He ripped its head off and then its arms off. And my
Oh,
mom got
Stitch.
sick and tired of stitching it back together.
Nope.
Stitch. And then just threw it out. Because, like,
Oh.
you know, when you're a kid, you just like scream your head off over it. So she'd like sew it back on for me.
Yeah.
And she kind of got sick and tired of it. So she finally just threw it away. She's like, "You're too old for this anyway." that was
You're too
that
old
was
for
how that was how my Stitch died.
It's okay. I still
Oh.
have my teddy bear from I don't know how long ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
Teddy
Teddy.
and Ruff.
Yeah, because I'm such original with names.
Very clever.
Yeah.
It's all good. I still got Bun.
You're
I have a
funny.
big bunny stuffed animal that apparently I had matching overalls with at some point, like
That's
pink
precious.
overalls with stripes.
So cute.
And yeah, I named this bunny Bun, and my great aunt Rosalie gave it to me. So you know, Bun.
But I had a bear.
Where it's at.
He was a yellow bear with a blue nose.
There you
He
go.
was a bear.
Bear.
Bear. I don't know where he's at. I know he's after I moved over the summer. I bet he's in boxes somewhere. I just have to dig him out. But
I hate admitting this, but sometimes I still sleep with Teddy.
No, you don't.
I used to.
You sleep with. Okay, yeah, it was in our old room, but it's probably still in the studio, honestly.
Yeah, it's gonna end up on one of those shelves one day. You're just gonna be like,
Probably.
what the fuck?
You're probably gonna put it up there with my old ventriloquist dummy, and I'm like, why is this up there with it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got the shoes and the hat. And
Yeah, we did. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. So I got the
Why are your test run
replacement.
chips?
Sorry, I got the replacement parts for my Charlie McCartney ventriloquist dummy.
scariest shit
So
you're ever
he is
gonna
going
see.
to be.
that sounds horrifying. I
fantastic.
don't like dummies. Keep going.
It's not a dummy.
So-
it's a
so
ventriloquist.
he's
a dummy
from
is more
the-
for the crash chests.
He's from the 50s.
Horrifying.
I got him at an antique shop,
Wait,
which even scarier.
Is he
Wait, if he-
haunted
wait.
by chance?
He might be because stuff did start getting moved around and doors did start slamming when he first came in the house. And I was a
that
little
would do it.
I was a little scared of him for like the first month and a half when I first got him.
That makes sense.
But
though.
I told him it's totally fine. I was going to order his replacement parts. So he's got
Mhm.
his top hat and monocle and shoes now. I just have to like go and get him from the studio and like deck him out.
Mhm.
but-
Actually, wait. Does that explain why the studio door keeps opening and closing?
Probably.
Because it's
It
open again.
slams randomly.
No, it's open again.
Oh well.
Oh,
Oh well. I won't go in the studio if the lights turned off in there. I'm just saying.
I will.
He lives in the studio now, and I won't go in there if the lights are turned off.
no, that's just scary. I don't like that. something about ventriloquist dummies just makes me very nervous. Very nervous.
His mechanism for actually speaking is broken, and I was talking to
No, ma'am.
puppeteer that I know. I was talking to a puppeteer I know, and they're like, "Well, I could just fix that for you." I was like, "No," and they're just like,
No,
"Well,
ma'am.
no," and I was
Nuh-uh.
like, "He's broken, and we're gonna keep it broken. I'm just gonna like slap lipstick on that pig. He's gonna look great on a shelf." And he's going to be great if I ever decide to review like Dead Silence or...
Wait, we don't want to replace it?
No, I'm going to leave it broken on purpose because it's a little scary to me.
You know what it reminds me
he's
of? It
very
reminds me,
scary.
do you guys see,
But I love him.
kind of going back to the Disney thing that we were talking about earlier, the dummies in the last Toy Story?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
what he's
thinking of.
based off of. And the fourth one, like, yeah, no, like Slappy and
Yeah.
Slappy from Goosebumps is based off the
Yes,
Charlie
yes,
McCartney dolls.
yes.
Yeah,
That's horrifying.
that's the original ones. And then, you know, all that. I have one of the original ones.
Curse on them.
I have one of the original ones. He's seen some better days, but I bought his replacement stuff. I refuse to get that mechanism fixed, though. I refuse to. It's not
No,
happening.
good for you. I think you're making a great decision here.
He's not going to be able to speak.
Wait a minute. If we bring him into a Catholic church, we'll catch on fire.
Maybe.
Can we call it like a priest?
Just take him to the next BKR family.
Lord, was that your
wedding or
impression of an exorcism?
No, I'm just really drunk right now.
Oh.
I thought you had hair stuck in your mouth or something.
I can't feel my
I thought he
tongue.
was the puppet when he entered the church. I was like,
Mark does the same thing when he puts one of our masks on, because he always complains that there's cat fur in them. Because the cats climb on everything, and then we just wash it with like all of our laundry.
Ends
So
up with cat
yeah,
fur all
cat
over
fur
it.
on everything.
love that for you guys.
Best thing about cats, you know, you're always going to stay warm with their fur everywhere.
Mm-hmm. You got that nice
I thought it was
fur-lined
the
mask?
built-in alarm clock.
Oh, God, that's even worse.
Midnighter wakes us up and starts surfing
On our face.
on our face
At what time?
at like
Akiora.
6 o'clock in the morning.
6
Jeez.
o'clock, 7:45. No, 6 o'clock, 7:30, and then 8.
What is
Oh, is
Midnighter?
those exact times.
Yeah, he has nowhere to be.
But even when the time changes, he somehow knows.
They're smart. They're smart.
When it's our day off, we close the door so he can't sleep with us because we want to sleep in a little bit.
No, but instead, when we close the door, you just hear a run and a thud.
Oh,
And then he meows.
oh, Midnighter.
Yeah.
Cat watches
Cat
too many
watches
horror
too many horror
movies.
movies.
No, Chris
No.
Barrett, you're not watching enough
Horror movies are where it's at.
You're not watching
So-
enough.
Something I was thinking about doing for the show. I was thinking about bringing in another segment, like what
Okay.
are we watching?
Oh,
Or
that'd
what
be
have we watched throughout the week?
Yeah.
Wait, is that just your nonchalant way of saying, hey, we're going to do this segment?
No. I
You wanna
talked
do-
to
we
you
can just-
about
we
it
can just segment
earlier.
Right now. Go ahead.
act
What have
like
you guys
it's
been watching?
new. All right, so I know I talked to you a little bit about this Friday night, but I marathoned the entire Fate the Wink saga on
That's
Netflix.
right.
And I'm gonna tell you,
What was that?
Awful.
okay, so I did a
What-
little
was
bit.
it
I
that
did a
bad?
little bit of research.
It was
I did
that
a little
bad.
bit of research. I know I
It
said
was that bad.
I said that it was Netflix trying to have Vampire Diaries at Hogwarts, but
Which sounds like such a cool idea. too.
the showrunner for Fate the Wink Saga
Mhm.
was actually one of the writing staff for Vampire Diaries.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so there actually is that connection there.
Wow.
But I'm just saying, like, the show overall, the changes that they made zero sense. The way that they made things so predictable, and they wanted to teenify it all. And I know a lot of people say whitewashing, but when you have built-in diversity to a known property, and then you go out of your way to change certain characters and even change their power set levels, it's just like, dude, you have this thing. You have
Mhm.
this thing where you have they had a Latina fairy, they had an Asian fairy, and they made them both white in this, and they changed their names, they changed their power levels. I know one of them mentioned because they made the Earth fairy in this Terra instead of Flora.
Mhm.
And she mentioned that she had a cousin named Flora. I'm like, so what? Do you just have her in your back pocket if you get greenlit for a second season? You're gonna bring her in?
Wait, they
I
had
guess.
an Earth fairy named Terra, which is Spanish for dirt.
Yeah, and they completely whitewashed it. And it's really upsetting because it's just like some of the things that they changed, it's just like you had this thing that you could have just followed this thing, but instead you just
It's
kinda
really not that hard.
made it a thing.
Yes, Chris.
Me
There
too.
was we do now, Chris.
We
We
do.
do now.
It's
Uh
it's called the first hour we talk about the film.
It's-
The last 3, it's whatever.
I knew it was going to be a hot mess. I did, but I decided to watch it anyway because I watched the Winx Club or whatever forever ago.
Yeah.
And now it's the Winx Saga. I'm like, why is it a saga?
Is there gonna be more going on?
Maybe.
I'm sorry, but when you first said you were watching the Winx, I thought you were actually like an LGBTQ movie or something. I'm not gonna lie.
Also,
I'm just saying.
since we're talking about horror movies,
I was like, why are you watching this on Netflix and talking about fairies and this and that? I'm like, oh god.
so another Netflix property that just released a new season was Bonding.
Oh wait. But talking
Bonding's
about before
pretty
this,
funny.
that gave a whole new meaning to Fire Redhead.
Yeah, the fire fairy was a redhead. Because of course, you know, and they put her in a red leather jacket and she has issues.
That's how
Of
you know
course.
that she's a fire fairy.
That's how you know.
That's how you know, because everything around her just gives away.
And I'm
Love
sorry.
that.
But
If you have red hair, no offense, but you're a hot mess.
that's because your ex.
MJ Watson is typing.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Mark, do you want to tell her what movie we watched on Shudder last night?
Yeah, Mark, what did you guys watch on Shudder?
Oh, the porno.
Yeah, there's a Shudder exclusive movie. Porno.
Which is so funny.
Which is
Okay.
really funny. Okay, so it's a theater that's owned by a very devout Christian man. And everyone that he employs, like, they do little like prayers before showings,
Mhm.
and like they're constantly like quoting different things, and they all have to live by a certain like thing, whatever. They're all teenagers basically, except for the one manager that's like supposed to be a 20-something-year-old. He's clearly well into his 30s.
Mhm.
So they have a tradition at the end of Saturday night shift or whatever. They're able to watch whatever movie they want together as a group. And they find this old, weird film and they pop it in. And it's this creepy... I wouldn't even call it a porno, but it has a naked chick in it. And of course, you know, they're like, oh, this is a nudie film. We can't be watching this. And all sorts of hijinks ensue. And apparently by watching this film, they released a succubus. And they have to
Ooh.
like battle the succubus.
Ooh, very
And
cool.
the body horror in this film, I was not expecting, but
It made me hurt.
it made her hurt. It makes you flinch
Ooh.
for a minute.
Okay, yeah, it's one of
And
those.
it's very realistic gore, which
Okay.
I really respect. A lot of really practical effects. Like, you feel like when these characters are slamming into something or like running into something, that's actually happening to them. And like, you feel like the pain in it is actually real. And
Mhm.
a lot of
For
respect
how
for it.
low budget it was, probably was.
It was a fun movie. We couldn't stop laughing the entire time. It's very clearly a horror comedy.
Oh, great. Yeah,
And
those are
there's a
so
lot
hard
going
to
into
nail.
it. And then today I watched a god awful movie that I thought was supposed to be like a modern adaptation to Red Riding Hood, because that's what it
Ooh.
said in the whole thing, but it wasn't. It was called Hunted, and it was on Shudder, and it was a piece of garbage, and not in a fun way. So a woman is on a business trip in another country. She's French. I think she's I forget where they said she was, but she's in a completely different country, somewhere else in Europe. And she goes out to a nightclub and ends up actually going into this car willingly of her own accord with these two men.
Yeah,
and then they
puppies
both
and
end
candy.
up being like psychopaths, and like, you know, they're trying to like hurt her or whatever. And it's this whole like she needs to survive
Mm.
story. And they're very unlikable characters. Even the main character is very unlikable. And the only thing it has to do with like the whole Red Riding Hood story is it has like an animated sequence like they did in the Leprechaun movie before. That was probably the best part of the entire film. And then she wears like a red coat the entire time. That was pretty much all it had to do with Red Riding Hood. And I was very disappointed in that. But I will say, whoever did the fight sequences in Hunted reminded me a lot of Revenge, which is also on Shudder. And it
Okay.
made me really disappointed because I was like, damn, I need to rewatch Revenge, because Revenge was awesome.
Very cool. I don't know if I want to watch Hunted, but I do want to watch Porno just because that sounds really
Porno
fun.
was funny.
It sounds very
Hunted
fun.
was not good.
Okay.
It wasn't even like entertaining.
Oh,
It was just
like
boring.
flat out bad? Boring?
It was just boring. Here's the thing. A movie can be so bad it is entertaining to watch.
Mm.
And then there's a movie that can be so bad that it's just boring. And this movie was just boring. But Porno was really funny. It was really bad, but it was really funny.
That just sounds like a lot of fun by the way you described it. I gotta look into it. I'll have to find it. I need something new to watch.
It'll make you hurt.
It made Mark.
I'm in.
It made me hurt.
Mark.
It made you flinch.
They had balls exploding.
Yep. And it's very explicit on how it shows you.
Awesome.
So bring the boyfriend
I
along. Date night at the Banks house.
Hey.
I can just imagine the phone call.
We've been needing to watch something
honey.
new, maybe.
It's like, hey, honey, I found a porno we can watch.
That's not a lie. It's actually called that.
We're gonna bring my parents in the room. We're gonna all want to watch this together. Oh God.
I'm gonna get that poor boy's hopes up.
He's gonna be like, oh yeah. I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah. No.
Right.
I've been keeping up with my WandaVision.
Okay,
I've
yeah.
been loving WandaVision. This
What's
last
going on
episode.
there?
This last episode was so good. I finally got around to watching it. So
Oh my
good.
gosh.
You watched it without me?
Yes. You were at work all day. I watched it with
He looks like he's about to kill you.
He looks like he's about ready to file divorce papers.
Let me go get another drink. You guys can talk about this.
This is like when he watched Handmaid's Tale without me.
Hey, that was
You
once,
watched it without me.
and I rewatched it with you.
I'll rewatch WandaVision with you.
We're supposed to watch this together,
Okay.
like Vampire Diaries.
That's true. We did watch Vampire Diaries together
Good
when we were
for you guys.
teenagers. I made him watch it with me.
Except for that one night.
Except for that one night. And you should have watched Vampire Diaries with me.
Yep.
Yep.
God, the toast was disgusting in that cell.
All right, Annie, what have you been watching?
I've been watching WandaVision. Really, really enjoyed this last episode. It was really cool to see Darcy come back. And hang out with Agent Wu, who we haven't seen since Ant-Man. He mastered his little card trick. I like that. Not everything really connects.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Really, really unique perspective, especially for Monica Rambeau, and understanding who she is and where she's coming from. I think that this really fleshes out this show even more going forward, where we have more substance to go off of. I really do like the direction in which the show is moving. I think it's just really quirky and out there and really just interesting. It is genuinely very interesting. What I have been watching, I watched a couple of movies this week.
Okay.
I watched The Sound of Metal, which was really cool. I really enjoyed it. It's up for a few nominations, so I got that in the mail, and they were like, "Hey, watch this. Let's talk about it." Studio wants to hear back. I'll hear back. And then I saw The Little Things. So that was the new thriller, the crime thriller.
Max, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The crime thriller that has Jared Leto and Denzel Washington and Rami Malek. Awful. Very bad.
Is it fun bad or is it boring bad?
I wish it was fun bad. It's not like fun bad like those cheesy horror movies that you've been watching, or something really, really bad where you can go, this is really bad, I'm enjoying myself a lot. This was just like, I felt like everyone was just kind of out of their element. Jared Leto really tries to portray himself as this very shadowy figure, and almost everything that he does, besides Dallas Buyers Club. Rami Malek, he's so hard to cast because I can't take him seriously.
Why?
He wants to be a dramatic actor so badly. And I think after Bohemian Rhapsody, I was like, okay, he's forever going to be Freddie Mercury. And then I just moved on. I am excited to see what he's going to do in the new James Bond, however, with No Time to Die as this new villain. The Little Things was very boring. I wish it was more of suspense than it was a drag.
A drag. We're talking about Queen. But see, for me, like Rami Malek, he'll always be the brother from the Until Dawn video game.
Yeah.
And I know he did like Mr. Robot, which is pretty fantastic.
And he was great for Mr. Robot because he was quirky and weird and odd.
He's a weird actor, and I think weird works for him. Like,
weird works for him very well.
He can't play like the boy next door. He can't play like he can't play Archie.
No.
If
they needed so.
No, but he couldn't play like your average like let's play some football kind of guy. But if it's like some weird guy with like a bit of a twist to his character, I think he's fantastic.
Oh yeah, no, he's very in tune with how odd he is, which is really something that flatters him and his performances. That's really hard to find in your everyday script, unless you know that you want to work with Rami Malek and you write a part especially for him. You can't really adapt to these different parts that he's being offered, or these different roles. Which is a shame, because I think if he had that more of that flexibility within his range, I would like to see him in more. I would. I just remember him as the Egyptian god from the Hidden Museum.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was. Those were good movies.
Wasn't he a pharaoh in it?
He was the pharaoh. Yes.
He's the pharaoh in it. Yes. He was good in that.
Yes, he was.
He was fun. Oh,
he was very fun. Oh, no.
Brought it back to Robin Williams all over again.
He was great as Theodore, or was he, Teddy Roosevelt? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we doing on Groundhog's Day?
What are we doing on Groundhog's Day?
It's on the 2nd. What are we doing?
You wait for
Second
the
of what?
groundhog to show his shadow.
In 2 days.
It's in 2 days.
February 2nd.
No, it isn't.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lie. When is Groundhog's Day? Alexa, when is Groundhog's Day?
Groundhog Day is 2 days away.
Oh,
Wednesday, February 2nd.
That's on
it is 2
Thursday.
days away.
Are we gonna watch the movie?
We might have to.
Oh, you know what? Do we want to watch Groundhog's Day this week?
No. We're not making
No, we're not gonna we're not gonna change it. We already have the B movie.
Fun fact about Groundhog's Day. It was the little town square in the movie is in a little town called Woodstock up in northern Illinois, right on the Wisconsin border.
Is that where Woodstock took place?
Mhm.
In Woodstock.
In Woodstock.
There you go.
How do I still have eggnog left over?
I don't know. I don't drink it.
Eggnog.
Oh,
You just sat on your chips. You yelled at me about touching your chips and you just sat on them. I hope you like your crunchies.
Yeah, hold on a moment. This is
Okay,
like
we're
it's
good
like
now.
The old person in the
He was trying to protect everyone's ears
Crunch.
because he had to open up the bag.
Oh, the pop.
Oh yeah, he didn't want everyone to hear the rustle and all that.
It's like actually I've done this before. It's a really quiet scene in those horror movies. I just go.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, you're that guy.
He is that guy. Dude, I sat next to him during Shazam and I wanted to break up so bad
You're welcome.
during that movie because
What did I do?
you fell asleep
Oh yeah, that's right.
and you
You fell
snored.
asleep
He
during
fell asleep.
Shazam?
We were watching Shazam in IMAX.
I'm sorry.
And
it's
he
the-
fell
Fell
asleep.
during Shazam.
He snored very loudly, mind you.
Mark.
Okay, Annie, it's the ASMR in it because it's a really deep, settling voice.
Zachary Levi does not have a deep, settling voice. He is not Mufasa.
But every
This is
time
not
he-
the lady
no,
that
you-
says bees at the
Did I-
bug convention we went to.
horticulture convention.
Horticulture.
Anyway, but no, I think I fell asleep during the cave scene when he gets entered in as he's talking to the god. It's like,
I don't know when he fell asleep. I just remember like it was a very emotional scene, him dealing with his mom.
oh god,
Mark snoring up a storm. And I just looked over and he's just
That movie was only like a half hour, wasn't it?
I literally reached over and started smacking him awake.
I woke up and they're all
I
flying
was like,
around.
Mark,
at, like,
you
some
shame
circus.
me as a DC fan right now.
They're flying around in merry-go-round. I don't know what I woke up to.
Yeah, he woke up to the Shazam family.
Of course he did. When my dad and I went to go see The Winter Soldier back in 2014, I asked him to take me. I was so excited to go see it, and he went with me.
Okay.
That was he likes Guardians of the Galaxy, so he took me to go see like Guardians, or we saw the Avengers in theaters. That was our thing together. And he had he knows nothing about Marvel, right? It's fun because I get to tell him everything I know and annoy the hell out of this poor man. And then we go watch the movie. And we went to go see The Winter Soldier, and we sat down, and he fell asleep right after the opening scene where they're running through the Washington Mall, and he slept through the entirety of The Winter Soldier, and then he woke up at the very end where Bucky is pulling Steve out of the river. And he goes, "Who is that? Is that Bucky?" He goes, "Is that Bucky now?"
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
That's
And he's
not
like,
the
what
first time
happened to he's so good. He's like, what happened to Bucky? I thought Bucky was gone. And I'm like, okay.
You'll never know, Dad.
You'll never know. He also hates Sebastian Stan. Like, he won't tell me why, but he very much hates Sebastian Stan.
What's the other movie I fell asleep in? This is an ongoing theme, by the way. I fall
Hellboy.
asleep.
You falling asleep in movie theaters?
I even fell asleep at Baltimore Comic Con on the ground.
He did. If you go
That-
back and rewatch those live streams, I'm at the booth. I'm pretty sure you can see one of me yelling at John, our friend John's Comics with Kids, and telling him to get Mark off the floor because kids were coming with sticks to poke him. He was literally like, he had propped himself up in front of like a pillar on the floor there. And like nobody was like walking around him or like stepping on him or anything. But a bunch of kids had formed a circle around my husband. And I was like, somebody please get him off the fucking floor. I'm pretty sure you can see me yelling at people behind the camera.
I fell asleep so hard.
He did. He just fell asleep.
Hey, you know what? I got comfy and I decided to take a nap.
I'm pretty sure you probably had like a sandwich or something in your hands
Probably.
at the time.
Makes sense. Falling asleep with food in my hand.
You would.
This is why when cons come back, I'm going with Kat. This is where we're gonna go.
I fell asleep in the car when we were waiting in the parking lot to set up because we had to wait for like
We all fell
we were
asleep in the
stuck
car.
for like 3 hours in this
4.
parking lot. Just waiting to get our numbers assigned
Oh, yeah.
so that we would be in line to go over to the actual convention center to set up
So
and everything.
Then this is the part where I just popped up in the trunk and started handing people beer.
Yeah, we
Good
had
for
cooler.
you.
I really
We had a
did.
cooler. We basically just made friends with everyone there in the parking lot.
I just started handing out beer. It's like, here, you're waiting.
I actually met the team from Devil's Due and tried to convince them that they needed to do more of an extended White series. So White was the 4-issue miniseries about the great white shark.
Mhm.
It's pretty fantastic. So
If it's about sharks, it has to be good.
it's about sharks.
Then it's inherently good.
Or bad, but still in a good way. But it was really good. It was apparently supposed to be adapted into a film, but then The Shallows with Blake Lively came out, and it was a very similar concept because it was like, you know, young blonde something dealing with a shark, and you know, funding fell through. However, he was also part of the team behind Archie versus Sharknado. So that was pretty cool too.
That is pretty cool. That is very cool.
Yeah, he was really cool to talk to.
Did you ever see The Shallows?
Yes.
We own it.
What did
I
you
love
think?
it. I
You
love
liked
it personally. I feel like it's a solid shark movie and not like in a B-rate shark movie type thing. I feel like where in a lot of shark movies, you've got your stereotypical girl out there on a surfboard or something, and she's making stupid mistakes and she gets herself eaten, where Blake Lively, whether you believe her as a would-be doctor or not, she's using a lot of that skill and a lot of that education in a way to make herself survive. She's a fighter, and she's going out of her way, and I respect it. I respect the film. I like the way it was shot. It was very realistic, the fact that the shark would be attracted to that huge whale carcass. And if you know anything about sharks' behavioral methods throughout, yeah, I accept a lot of that film.
Very cool. I really never heard any feedback about it either way, either positive or negative. So it's nice to hear someone talk about it, even years later. Cool. I know you're the shark aficionado on the channel.
Of the group, yeah. I don't think
really great at terrible movies that have sharks in it.
I definitely wouldn't put it in the same category. It would probably be a third in my shark kind of thing. It'd probably be, and I know a lot of people argue with me about this, but Jaws 2, Jaws, The Shallows. I put the sequel for Jaws ahead of Jaws because I feel like the characters in Jaws 2, the teenage like slasher element, I feel like the characters are much more likable. You care more about them. Their deaths have more weight there. The fact that they're willing to go out of their way and like actually kill a kid off is pretty crazy. And it's not just like a one-off, it's a lot of kids.
It's very bold. Yeah, it's not completely orthodox for that type of movie.
But I like it.
There you go.
So what
A
else?
full review of The Shallows.
Or the other time I fell asleep while driving home from Baltimore. You guys were asleep too. The car woke me up.
The car woke us up. The car started shaking itself on purpose.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I hated that Armada.
Although I almost ran into the barrier wall because I didn't realize that construction was coming up and there was no signs that said to drop down to 45 miles an hour from 70.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's
all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? You guys both woke up because you both hit the windows at the same time. Sorry.
Carson.
Yeah. You and
Poor
Carson. You and Carson, all of a sudden I hear thud. I'm awake now.
Yep.
Yep. You guys stayed awake for the rest of the trip.
This was the same vehicle that we had the brace for impact, a large animal.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. Chad going to pay for parking.
It had 15,000 miles on it.
He dropped his card and bent down in front of the car.
Yep.
And like literally the entire dash started blinking red, and I had this huge warning sign and an outline, like with the camera and everything. It said brace for impact, large animal. And it had his body outline like in thermal, and it was the greatest thing known to mankind.
Oh, that's awesome.
Everyone in the car just bust up laughing.
I hated that car so much.
It was us, Carson, and then Comics Misexplained, Jason Cantu.
Mhm,
We're all in the car. And Chad's going to go pay for parking, and that happened. I felt so bad, but it was funny.
You know what? Oh.
Am I hearing voices?
That's outside. Sorry. People are shouting.
No, it's in my head. It's okay.
Just tell him to speak up a little. It's fine.
Anyway. What else?
Oh.
What else? The one time I fell asleep on the beach and then I realized tide was coming in.
So what have we learned from this episode?
That is
sodomy.
That is not a measurement form.
Godzilla is
Godzilla
now
is-
replacing the metric system.
Instead of saying something is a foot, it is a Godzilla.
He's a Godzilla.
It is a Godzilla. It is now a form of measurement.
We went 55 Godzillas today. Oh, goodness.
I can't wait for the new Godzilla. Oh, Mark
Chris said that Mark can sleep anywhere.
It's basically true.
Dude, the Godzilla movie is gonna be fantastic. I mean, yeah, we're gonna have that stinky monkey running around too, but you know, Godzilla is gonna be
This is
there.
now a King Kong hate stream.
I don't like King Kong.
I think he's fine. I don't know anything else about him. I don't have enough to care about him.
I've tried watching King Kong movies.
Is King Kong gonna be those monkeys in the zoo where they
I have
throw
the
their feces
tendency to
everywhere?
fall asleep during them.
That's King Kong. Yeah,
They take
King Kong.
they take forever to build up in my mind. They take forever. It's a bunch of boring things leading into it, and then it's just like you wake up, oh, there's a giant monkey running around. Okay, awesome. He kidnapped a blonde woman.
I just wish that Jack Black actually wrote like a heavy metal song based off of it from seeing those movies.
For Tenacious D.
Yes.
White people love King Kong, Tenacious D, and heavy metal.
I do love Tenacious D.
You beat one of the three. Oh,
So
man.
I was listening to Pandora this morning.
Uh-huh.
I had it on Linkin Park radio, right? And all I was listening to was Eminem the entire time.
Makes sense.
Pandora
that makes
likes to
sense.
tell you that you're listening to one thing, and then you don't.
Yeah. Just like I listened to Five Finger Death Punch, and it was nothing but like Avril Lavigne. I was like, "What the hell is
Well,
this?" Yeah,
She's kind of cool, though.
but it's not Five Finger Death Punch. I want that heavy double bass screaming in my face.
Yeah.
Halsey Radio, and it was
around?
Britney
Is she still
Spears.
making music?
I don't know what that crazy
Um,
Canadian's up to.
I just know that she had Lyme disease and got really sick from it.
Oh, no.
I think the last
Was it from one of the deers up there? Is that where they're
the
making
last real album that she did, Chad Kroeger was really involved in, her
Mhm.
ex-husband Chad Kroeger, and they had a couple songs together. I know she had a few collabs with like Marilyn Manson and a couple other people, but I haven't heard anything from her in the last few years. I hope she's okay.
I hope she is. Avril Lavigne, if you're out there.
Oh, I got cat fur.
Maybe don't have cat fur. Ignore him. But Avril Lavigne, if you're out there, can you answer this one question? How many Godzillas tall are you?
How many? Okay.
Wait, no. You need to show the
Avril
face now.
Lavigne
No.
height. Here we go. She is 5 Godzillas tall.
She's 5 Godzillas
She's
tall.
Yeah.
There you go.
Avril, we got this one covered for you.
I am 5 plus-ish Godzillas tall. I'm a little taller than that.
I am 4 Godzillas and then maybe like 3/4 of a Godzilla.
There you go.
4 and
Godzilla.
3/4 Godzilla.
So you're telling me that I'm 2 Godzillas taller than you?
I am telling you that you are 2
not
Godzillas.
8 Godzillas tall.
I'm
You
not.
are not 8 Godzillas tall.
Okay, I'm 6'2".
You're 6 Godzillas and a little bit more tall.
You're a little over 6 Godzillas tall.
Cool.
How does it feel?
See, when you meet people that you've been talking to online and everything, and you're like surprised at who's taller and who's shorter than what you thought they'd be, you walk right up to them and you're like, wow, you're way more Godzillas than I thought you'd be. Just say that.
That's how I'm going to greet you both.
See, I didn't
That's how it's
know
gonna happen.
that many Godzillas, but you are. It's canon, everyone. Godzilla is now a feet of measurement.
It is now a unit of measurement. We are rejecting
Just walk a bit.
modernity.
Jeez, Mark, you're so many Godzillas wide.
Height and weight in Godzilla's only, please.
Right?
So wait, if there's a...
Okay, so Chris Barrett wants to know, how tall is Godzilla? So this Godzilla is a little more than 11 inches in height. If you're going like his foot to the tip of his head, you're going by his tail. He's quite a bit like longer than that.
I think by his tail, would it be a foot?
Yeah,
By
2
his
feet.
tail, it'd probably be 2. If
2?
you, like, straightened it out, maybe.
Oh, who
His
texted
tail's
me this
really
the other night?
long because it's like 3 pieces.
Oh,
But
It's a
yes,
big boy.
this Godzilla is almost a foot. It's like just shy.
I love how that shows up in my feed to send pictures.
Mark eats. He's
12 Godzillas wide.
Dang, shade.
Wow, roasted.
It's called a metabolism, Chris.
Just because I'm
He's got
215
one.
does not make me fat.
No, you actually carry it quite well on your
I
frame.
don't know how.
I do admire your metabolism. It's amazing.
Yeah, until I hit 33 and then it stops.
Yeah.
I have 2 years.
Wait, you're 31?
Almost.
I was like, you're not 31 yet.
We don't know how old I am.
I'm just saying. Are you like Gandalf the Grey?
Do we
We
not
just
get to
kind of
know Mark's
guesstimate
age? Does he
how
just
old-
age on his own and he like doesn't
It's
tell
like-
us?
It's like Benjamin Button.
Don't you dare. That movie scared me.
You're welcome.
Which movie?
Benjamin Button.
Oh shit, that was
He
weird.
freaked me out.
That was
to no
horrifying.
end.
Benjamin
Yes.
Button was so
Thank
weird.
you. Such a weird movie.
So weird.
And it was so weird seeing him like
I thought you liked weird
de-age
movies.
and I like good weird movies. That's just weird.
This was just
weird.
like an
That's-
unsettling weird movie.
Yes. Yeah. See, she
It wasn't
gets
like
it.
a weird movie that was good. It was a weird movie that like felt very uncomfortable to watch.
Was it because it was Brad Pitt?
I like Brad Pitt. I liked him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think he was a great.
I liked him in Troy.
I liked
Oh,
him
shit.
in Fight Club.
He was hot in Troy.
He's hot, anyways.
He's not that good looking.
He's not
He
that
is in
hot.
Troy.
I don't think he is. I don't see it.
Troy.
Oh, Troy.
Watch it.
Isn't it where they got the Trojan horse?
It's the story of
Yeah, somehow we
All
got
that
on the topic
nonsense.
of that today.
The Trojan horse?
Yeah, like I don't know why.
I
he,
think we
like-
should bring that back.
I think we should bring back a giant rabbit like what
I-
they had in Monty Python.
I think that everyone that was supposed to be inside the giant rabbit needs to go hide in the bushes next to the rabbit.
Run away!
It's like, well, see, the whole thing is Lancelot and this and myself are going to be inside the rabbit. And it's like, wait, so what's the plan again? Lancelot, this, and myself are going to be inside the rabbit, and then we're going to jump out of the rabbit. It's like, it's the rabbit that's in there already. What about a wooden giant wombat? Full circle. We're talking about Monty Python again.
Such
Anyway,
a good movie.
so-
Such a good movie.
Somehow we got into this topic of the Trojan horse, and then I was like, "Yeah, those are the Troys." And he was like, "What do you mean the Troys?" I was like, "It's just,
Trojans.
it was just the army. Everybody was named Troy."
No. This is not true.
He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "No, that's not how that happened at all." The kid's like 16. He's very convincible.
Gullible.
When you're 16, I think I could tell you anything and you'd be like, okay, go around your life.
I was on a fishing boat, so I don't know.
Hey, Kat, did you guys ever fire that one girl?
Oh, you want to hear something really funny?
Yes.
God.
So she shows up to her Friday shift.
Nope. Not even Friday.
Yes, she did.
That was Friday?
It was Friday.
Oh, God,
So
I've
she
been
shows
drinking
up
too
to her
much.
Friday shift. Late, mind you. She
Of
was
course.
told if she showed up late again, she was gonna be fired. And she clocks in late and everything. And Mark's like,
How
hey,
late was
da da da.
Minutes late?
She was a minute late, but like she was walking in the door when we were unlocking the door. You're supposed to be ready to go on the line. It's a whole thing. You have to be ready to go. There's a bunch of stuff that we got to do before we open up the shop. She wasn't there for it. Like, dude, you're supposed to be there. You know this. And she kind of got a little snarky with Mark about it. And Mark gave her the benefit of the doubt. And he didn't fire her, even though everyone else in the line was like, why aren't we firing this chick? Why is she here? She then plants herself in the middle of everything and just proceeds to keep getting in the way of whatever and trying to like talk when we're in the middle of a rush, which is just going to irritate the shit out of the
Yeah.
workers that are there. And then she starts complaining that, oh, her stomach hurts, and her feet hurt, and da 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 da.
Or everything's
So-
running out of her, if you know what I mean.
So she begs to take a break. Mind you,
Okay.
she wasn't supposed to get the first break because she came in last.
Hmm
So she takes her break class, of course.
So Mark instead, trying to be a nice guy, gave her her break, and it's like, okay, don't forget to clock out and just be back at like half an hour. Da da da. She was gonna go out to her car and get something. Just kind of waiting. Our opener's still there, and our afternoon person is still there. They're waiting on this chick to come back to clock in so that they can leave.
Mhm.
And it's 22 minutes past. So Mark goes out in the parking lot to look for her. She is nowhere to be seen at all. So we're like, okay, fine. So we just sent like our afternoon, our opener out. And Mark's just like, well, if she shows up tomorrow, I'm going to have to fire her. And I looked at him, I was like, Mark, she walked off the job and she never came back from her break. She hasn't called. She hasn't done any of this nonsense.
I was like,
It was
oh,
like
yeah,
she was
good
scheduled
point.
to work until 6. She left at 1.
Yeah, she's not coming back.
She was supposed to work after me.
So then
She's not
yeah.
coming back. So,
yeah, so then she's like, okay, and then you're like, no, she quit. I'm like, oh yeah, good
I was like,
point.
she quit. I was like, she walked off. So
Mhm.
we went out shopping yesterday, and somehow we were like killing time waiting for some store or whatever to like have people leave so they could let more people in or whatever. Because, you know, they're limiting certain stores. Which good
Right.
for
Yeah,
them.
you gotta, there's capacity and there's rules and all that good stuff. Right.
We walked into American Eagle.
And sure
And
enough,
she's there shopping, hanging out, whatever.
Totally
It's the
fine.
same girl. Totally
Yeah.
fine.
which
She wasn't complaining. She just...
which is really funny because
Oh.
we literally walked past her, and like I dead stared at her, and she did not know who the fuck I was.
And then, like, she didn't call. She didn't show up to her shift. She was supposed to work that day, mind you.
Mhm.
Didn't call, didn't show up her shift or whatever, da-da-da. And Mark's just like, well, I wonder if she's just going to show for dinner. I was like, no, she quit.
Yeah,
It's like, that chick ain't coming back in here unless it's for her check.
right.
So, she's gone. Mark did not get the chance to fire her, even though everyone else was like, hey, go ahead and fire her.
Well, the thing is, if I fired her, she could try to file.
Not if it's for cause.
But what cause?
Constant lateness.
Yeah, but,
Attitude, not being able to perform correctly.
but wait,
Which
that's right.
sounds like she's checking all of those
Lying.
boxes.
Which actually, it's so funny
Not
that
coming in wearing her actual uniform.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
What was she wearing instead?
She wasn't wearing her hat, and then she also refused to pull her hair up, which she's got hair it's like past her butt basically.
Why wouldn't she pull it up?
And I was like, dude, this is a restaurant. Like, you need to pull your hair up. I have to pull my hair up. It's common sense.
I have to pull my hair up.
My hair's nowhere near that long. You got to pull your hair up.
My hair's pulled up right now. This is I have to wear it at work
He's a
too.
troll doll.
Mm-hmm. Keep that hair out of the food.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was so funny because
She
she's like,
ain't coming back.
she was complaining that her stomach was upset, that everything
Stomach
was
strife.
going through her and this and that. I'm like, okay, well, just go get your stomach stuff and come back.
I'm gonna quote legend here. Her horse was sick. Her horse was sick. She said she had some stomach strife, and she used that as a reason to leave and never came back.
But I still thought it was really funny that she just didn't recognize us. But then again,
Has she
she
seen
also,
you with, like, is it the same masks that you wear into work and stuff like that?
no.
Maybe that's
Although,
it.
although I mean, to be fair, I was
To be
wearing-
fair,
to be fair, I was wearing a bandana that was literally covering half of my face, all the way around the ears, and then I had a beanie on top of it. So it's like, this is all you see.
bandit.
Very threatening look.
But then I was also wearing Nike boots that have rope to tie them with around your feet, and a very shiny Under Armour jacket. I was comfy.
That's quite an ensemble you got going on for yourself.
I kept getting weird looks and giggled at, but I was like, you know what? I'm comfy.
There you go.
Yeah. Katie picked my outfit.
Well done.
Mostly.
I
Mostly.
approved.
Well
She
done.
looked fine.
Because otherwise, I was gonna be wearing hot pink and like a whole ensemble of colors that made no sense.
I think the best thing that we picked up for you when we were out was we found a shirt that had Leatherface flipping off, flipping the bird. And I was like, that's the greatest shirt ever.
That is pretty great.
What about the
No,
OP,
the Leatherface is
OP
coming
remake?
back in that new Texas Chainsaw movie.
There's another one.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
They
why?
have they finally locked down a new production team, or are they still changing them out? Because I know they've changed them out twice.
I haven't, other than sending you guys the website a couple of days ago, because I was talking to Legend about this. I'm not sure.
Because I know they had the script lockdown, they had cast it and everything, and they'd started production of it, and then they fired the director, his whole staff, everyone that he had put in place for the film was fired.
Well, as of last November, it is in post-production, and it is expected to release in 2021.
Ooh.
So
I'm just
from
wondering-
that, I do assume that everything is down and ready to go.
So I'm wondering, is this going to be another straight to video, or is this going to have a theatrical release?
I don't know. What would you rather see it be uploaded like a Shutter or something like that? Or is
Like-
it something that you would need to see in theaters?
I just meant like
No, I know. I don't know what platforms are going to be showing the film. I assume, just by how everything has been going, I assume it's going to be maybe in theaters and on some streaming platform.
I'd
giving
be
the
fine
viewers
with it
choice?
being streaming or straight to video. I was just saying like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films as a whole kind of have an issue with production companies not wanting them to see the light of day with theaters. And I mean, especially the last one that came out, Leatherface, not the third film Leatherface,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
Leatherface had so many issues with it that it was just straight to video.
Right.
And they kept shelving it and shelving it and shelving it until they just quietly released it and no one wanted to talk about it. But this one, at least it seems like they have a bit more into it. So I'm hoping that it has the support of their team. I think Shudder would be a perfect home for it. However, Shudder doesn't have the money that Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Netflix, things like that have, unfortunately.
Wait, what about 1, 2, 3 movies?
One
Shudder-
Shudder movie. I'll watch it on that.
Shudder's a little dog in the fight for the most part. And that's why they do have a lot more like obscure things. They don't have a lot of the mainstays on there, and if they do, it's a pretty like one and done, quick in, quick out type situation.
That's what she said.
But I think Shudder would be a fantastic place for it to be.
Oh yeah, I would like to see it uploaded on a smaller streaming site just to get that more of a reputation to that platform compared to kind of the big three that we have right now. Big
Yeah.
four. There's a new streaming service coming out every single day. Well, what point do you got to step back and go, this is really oversaturating the market?
You know who's spending a lot of money and it doesn't make the most sense to me? Peacock. So let's go ahead and put it on Peacock. You want to know why? Peacock is fantastic and it's free if you decide to watch ads. My Peacock account is completely free. I watch the ads. I just pretend like I'm watching regular TV. So.
That's what it is. It's regular TV on your laptop or your phone or your tablet or whatever.
But like Peacock's, it has certain properties I don't understand how it can afford. It has all of the Harry Potter movies.
Oh,
for
really?
starters. It also, I know they just signed a huge deal with one of the wrestling federations. I know the guys are really like up in arms about it. Like they're not sure. I know Legend doesn't have Peacock. He's never used it before. So he's just kind of like Is it a good place?
You know what? I think it's WWE that's moving to Peacock.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
Tell you, Peacock.
That's like and I know that a lot with that WWE purchase, a lot of those smaller entities like NXT or whatever those abbreviations are,
I think it's
they'll be
AEW is
following
one of
us,
them.
and they'll be absorbed by Peacock under the WWE.
So wait,
I
do you
don't
remember?
understand how Peacock makes its money.
I think it's
understand-
charging like $10 a month,
I know they
or
would-
for exclusives like wrestling.
So wait, do you remember when it was WWF
yes,
before the World
the
Wildlife
World
Foundation?
Wildlife Foundation, and they lost the rights to it and everything, and then they came in. I like the World Wildlife Foundation. Their little mascot's a panda bear.
Yeah, but it was around the same year when they had that panda bear and it said WWF on it, and it was still the World Wrestling Federation.
Yeah, it was a huge thing for a few years there.
That was so funny. I just imagine a panda coming out of there and just running down the stage and then just attacking all the wrestlers in the ring.
Maybe one of them should get like a panda bear costume,
Maybe they
like
should.
what they had in Suicide Squad. Just show up and start fighting.
Oh,
No.
Suicide Squad.
Oh gosh, that's where they got the ideas from Meet the Feebles from the hippo. Because he just goes in guns a-blazing. You know, there's one person who says, massacring everybody is not going to solve your problems. Anyway, I'm really drunk again.
Quit drinking. I mean, they kind of solved all her problems though, because she got rid of her husband, his little side piece, and got rid of the show. So it kind of did solve all her problems, actually.
I think she just took care of everything with one go. She really doesn't hesitate.
She's a completionist.
She is a completionist. We love
She's
that.
trying to kill everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta respect someone who tries to finish the job.
Yeah. She
Even
didn't
if it is kind of a
half-ass
messed up thing. She didn't just go for the husband and his side piece. No, she went for everyone. Innocent or not, she went for everyone.
She went all out.
It's that time of night where everybody's yawning.
Wait, we still got an hour.
All right, so next week we are going to be reviewing Annie's choice of the B movie.
The B movie. We wanted to get into that bad. Is it that bad? Is it going to be that bad? Because we've been looking at a lot of really good movies lately.
Yeah.
I think we need to have a little more fun without having it be a good movie, as we did with Meet the Feebles, which I really hope I never see again.
Except if it's a Bollywood movie.
Except if it's a
With the
Bollywood movie and the
fox.
fox is there.
Me
Chris
first.
has
Peter
some
Jackson
really-
take notes. But yeah, next week, B movie, same time, same place.
Same B time, same B place. We're
Same
talking about
Gary
a
B.
B-rated
Seinfeld.
movie.
As Chris Barrett said for the B movie.
Why have and spread the power. Thank
There
you,
you
Chris
go.
Barrett.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts about Meet the Feebles?
It's a real left-wing reporter.
It's a real. I would have never.
Oh god.
Sodomy deserves a song. That's what I learned.
Yes.
But then, do you think that's really where BuzzFeed came from? Is from Meet the Feebles?
Perhaps.
Because they're just eating a bunch of shit all the time.
It does predate it.
It is like easily
It
could.
does predate it.
So if we ever see a BuzzFeed reporter out in the field, ask them how the carrots taste.
Anyone could be a BuzzFeed reporter.
That's true.
You just have to make an account on BuzzFeed.
Yeah. We get all the reporters from MySpace, right?
Mm-hmm. That's where the real journalists are at.
Socials. Oh, the socials.
Oh, that's true.
But for anyone who is interested in this film that heard all of our nonsense and all of everything that we said and still like, I want to check out that film. I'm going to tell you right now, go on YouTube like you are right now after this, of course, and type in Meet the Feebles Sodomy and just watch the music video for that.
That's
And
gonna
that'll
tell you
everything
you need to see, everything that you need to hear.
It's all right there.
It saves you an hour and a half.
You don't even need to watch the film. You just need to watch that one music video. It tells you
We
everything.
highly discourage that you watch the movie. Just watch the music video.
If you want to see some really messed up shit.
When did the Feebles join the stream?
Ricky,
You know,
we've been talking about the Meebles since the minute we went live.
I'm gonna tell you, I tried really hard to get a few of the survivors on here, but I mean that massacre, it just
We
it
have
really,
to.
It
We owe this
really
to
wiped
ourselves.
them out. And there's a few of them. Some of them are still dealing with PTSD. Some of them are in the witness protection program right now. And
It's a
then,
very
you
sensitive
know,
subject for them. We have to be very delicate.
the hedgehog that's happily married to a poodle, and they don't want to break up their happy home with 4 kids.
No,
Yeah.
we need to respect that from a distance.
I'm going to respect their privacy and say to the Feebles, God bless. You know, I know most of you are burned in hell, but, you know, hopefully there's beer.
It's going to be like
it's warm.
Heineken or something.
It's going to be warm beer.
It's
going to be warm beer.
It's going to be skunk beer. It's going to be beer that was in the fridge, and then they took it out and let it get warm.
No, they took it out and then they put it back in the fridge to try to make it cold again.
No.
That's how it has to work. That's the only way it works. It's in
What
the fridge.
survivors? Yeah, some of them actually survived.
I am so confused.
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 Watch the music video, Ricky. It'll answer everything for you. Way better than we could.
Meet the
Feebles.
Meet the Feebles makes you feel
confused.
I am confused over the Feebles.
I will tell you, Meet the Feebles is available on YouTube. It's a little hard to find it for like home video release. I do know that they have it on DVD, but you know, they've never actually come out with a
Ricky.
I thought you guys were meeting someone named Feebles. No, that's the name of the movie. I'm sorry, Ricky. That's the name of the movie. It's a Peter Jackson movie that came out in 1989. Meet the Feebles. Watch it on YouTube. Just type it in. It's an hour and a half of your life, basically. You might hate us after it. I'm not kidding. You might want to, you know, massacre, but don't massacre, because massacring people never solved anything.
Hey Ricky, I'm just going to tell you this right now. There is a feature on YouTube where you can fast forward the film while still watching it. I suggest doing that. Make that hour and a half into 45 minutes. You're going to get the same experience.
You really won't miss much. But if you like to just enjoy that slow burn and have that full experience where you would have to watch it, go ahead and watch it at full pace. Or like the slow pace.
Chris, Betamax, really? Came out on Betamax?
Probably.
So you're thinking that we could probably find this on Laserdisc somewhere? Ooh.
That would be neat.
You're going to be looking all night. Oh, God, you're looking right now.
Laserdisc. Meet the Feebles.
The Feebles.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, dude. All right. So, real question now. Is it that bad? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it was very bad.
It
I
was
wish
very rough. It was very hard to get through.
I wish I had never seen
I
it.
searched the movie, and one of the thumbnails is showing some creepy worm. The creepy
You found the right
worm
one.
is
found the
actually
worm.
one of the main characters. He's the head of the stage crew.
Which makes no sense.
And he's like this old man worm that wants to be like a mentor to most of the Feebles, and he constantly has like a cigar, and he
Rabbit pox.
You just gotta watch it to understand. It's
I
so
can't even
hard.
explain this movie.
Rabbit pox. Hey, guess what? It's just a couple medication and give it a week. I will survive.
It's not the
Gunshots
big
and
one.
gone. Seconds later.
Oh gosh.
Oh, the worm.
This movie is very disturbing.
I wish I had
It's
never
very-
seen it. I
yeah,
wish that
it's
I
very-
missed
Annie wanted to massacre me while she was watching this
Mhm.
film, if it tells you anything.
That I can confirm. So if like you ever need like a confession tape or anything, just go back to this video.
Just make him watch it.
No, but you gotta watch the entire thing. I'm not gonna give you a timestamp.
If you go through all the stop signs and red lights, you'll make it in less than 90 minutes. Just saying.
Ricky Mars said, I bet it can't be worse than watching The Last Jedi. I think someone needs to rewatch The Last Jedi and realize how good it was.
After watching Meet the Feebles.
After watching the Feebles, no, I really liked The Last Jedi. I think it was very well done. Besides, like the Rose and Finn arc, and then the casino arc, I liked everything else about it. I have zero complaints between those two.
I felt like Last Jedi was a little bit.
Have I seen this?
It was, yeah, we own it too. It
Doesn't
Parts
really
of
see
it.
Did he
parts
fall asleep during The Last Jedi?
probably. Parts of it weren't that bad. And then there's a lot of fanfic that happens in Last Jedi. And
And
the
that's what I don't-
fanfic really bothers me.
I you know, I can understand that. I do like Luke's arc. I like how he went out very bitter and angry. I think that was very suited for Luke. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people are
well, he
like,
got
oh, he wouldn't
Grogu
do
killed.
that. I'm like, well,
Oh,
he went from
right.
like space
He
him
got
mode
Grogu
to
killed.
angry old twunk, you know.
No, think
Um,
about that, though.
I
He
think it's a
didn't-
great thing, you know, a really nice send off for him to like die looking over the suns of Tatooine. Ray, never been a fan of Ray, but I kind of liked her a little bit more compared to Rise of Skywalker.
But no, Katie, explain how Grogu died.
So at the end of Mandalorian, Grogu goes off with Luke, and
Yes,
he's
he
going to become
does.
one of his students and everything. And he's putting together the school, and he's going to be protected and trained and all this and that. And don't worry,
Did he
Mando,
escape
I
40
would give my life to protect him. Did we just find out that Baby Yoda was massacred off screen? Unless they're going to explain him leaving in this new series that's coming out, apparently, that he's also might be a part of. or
Boba
whatever.
Fett?
No. I heard there's supposed to be something with like a young Luke Skywalker.
Excuse me?
Yes, I heard there was supposed to be a
Excuse
young
me?
Luke Skywalker running around in like the Disney Plus like TV world or whatever.
No,
And I
I
heard
would
Grogu
like
is
to
supposed to
see
be a
it.
part of that.
I would like to see it.
So unless they explain him leaving or going off to another branch or something, you're telling me that this child that has just been this huge thing for the last 2 years basically was massacred off screen, and you just created this character that everyone knows and loves now just to die?
Thanks,
I don't
Disney.
know.
Not cool, Disney.
I put
Not
too
cool.
much faith in Jon Favreau and in Dave Filoni for that to happen.
Dude, I just want to see Baby Yoda running
I wanna
around
see
with the
him.
Mandalorian helmet on, fighting with his papa.
Yep.
I want to see them running Mandalore like the kings that they are. Big old Mando, and then a tiny little green Mandalorian.
That's all I want.
That's what I want. That's all I want. That's not that much, Disney. Make it happen.
I did hear Disney is about or could possibly introduce Hawkeye's deafness to the new series because they are borrowing so heavily from the Matt Fraction David Aja run. In a picture that Jeremy Renner put, you can see on one of his ears behind is an over-the-ear hearing aid. They are also introducing Echo who is deaf. She's a deaf character, and she's brought in to kind of help Clint Barton negotiate, or not negotiate, but navigate his newfound deafness. They have swordsman and they have the clown, which are coming in. So that kind of goes back to Clint's carnival days, where he had his eardrums shattered by having an arrow put through his ear. So
Ouch.
I really hope they follow up with that. I cannot express how important that is, not only to the character, but the diversity of Marvel and their newfound cinematic television universe. As someone who uses sign language, and that is hard of hearing, I think that's really, really important to see that reflected.
The platform that Disney Plus has
Mhm.
for Marvel, for Star Wars, all of this, to include something like that, it's got a lot of weight, and they have to do it correctly.
They have to do
And
it right.
I'm
They have to
hoping
do it
I agree with you. I'm hoping they do this correctly. I'm hoping it's perfect. Which so far, like, WandaVision was solid, Mandalorian was solid.
I still
Yes,
can't
a
believe
lot
you
of
watched
these
that without me.
things. It was one episode. Deal with it. But
Which episode did he like?
no, he hasn't seen the new episode
Oh,
of
that's right. He
WandaVision
didn't
yet.
see the latest
I watched
episode.
it
You watched
without
it
him,
without him.
and he kind of wants
That's
to tell
right.
me
You
now.
watched it without him. He's very
But
hurt.
I
The
just
cat and dog are sleeping on your side.
oh well. But
Yeah,
I
that's true.
know that a lot of these things were pushed back and delayed so much because of COVID, because of a lot of other
Mhm.
things. But they're definitely treating these things with care,
Mhm.
and they're taking the time to suss everything out. And I'm really excited about that.
Oh, I think that this is the most attention that has been given to great detail within, these next couple of shows, and especially with Falcon and the Winter Soldier preparing to take on the intensity of politics and racism and socioeconomic demands that are being faced right now. I think that's, very not bold, but very real of them. They're taking this very unrealistic genre, and they're applying it to modern days with modern times and modern issues. I really do admire the studio for kind of taking that head on and saying that they want to break down these barriers or break down these censorships in a way that they've been hiding behind for so long. Even in the beginning, there was an inkling of representation and there wasn't a lot of diversity, and there was a lot of strong arming from outside influences or people not wanting to see this, that, or the other thing. And I think that with is it Kevin Feige? Feige, his understanding of the material is so worldly, and he's a very intelligent guy, and I really do think that he wants to bring these greater issues to smaller screens and have them fleshed out with such purpose and such intensity, and he doesn't want to hold back, and I really like that. Especially with WandaVision, it's very intense, and it's very clever about how it goes about breaking down Wanda's psychosis and her spiraling insanity in this neighborhood that she's, possibly created for herself, and how everything will play out from there, and then how it'll affect other shows down the way. Like, we still have Loki coming out this year. We don't know what's going to happen with Loki. But yeah, that's why my Marvel Disney Plus filibuster, I just really like the direction that these shows are going, and I think that seeing the news that Clint may actually be adopting his deafness is really just a personal thing, and I think that really just resets his entire timeline and allows this to start fresh and accurately overall.
I'm excited. There's a lot of big things coming out, and we're excited. We're here for it. Disney, if you need any help, any support, Like maybe if you want to like fly us out there.
We would love to sit down and talk to you.
And,
Kat and I have a
yeah.
lot of really great ideas.
We do. We do.
We would be more than eager to pitch them to us. Please let us know what works best for you. We will
Yeah,
be in LA
we'll make it
with
happen.
precautions of the pandemic. We will be very careful. We promise.
We'll wear masks the entire time.
I'll
It'll be
double
great.
mask just for the
You
sake
know.
of it, you know.
We'll be superheroes for the day.
We'll be
It's all
great.
good. It'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I
Wait,
think we
the
could.
gold
I
mask.
think we could come together and put together a cool show or something. I think the
Yep.
two of us, if we put our minds to it, we could do it. But I'm not a screenwriter, so
Wait, 3. I'm security.
Well, Mark's got to be there. He's just gonna be there.
I'm sorry, Mark. Yeah, Mark will be there.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
be there.
wearing a mask, but I'm definitely eating a lollipop in the background.
No, Mark's gonna be there. He might chime in every once in a while, like he just did now.
He's got little nuggets of gold, though.
He does. He's very
Okay,
reserved.
go on. I've been told that a lot throughout my life.
You're very reserved.
Like an alligator. Reserved.
Yeah.
Until the
Why
one
does that
moment
make
you need to.
Why does that make sense?
I don't know.
But it does.
I don't think you're calculated enough to be an alligator. I'm not lying.
I'm like a cat.
I think you're more just like I think a bored house cat is a great way to describe you.
Where he
you're
walks around and
kinda
just
like,
pushes stuff over, makes a
like-
scene.
like a bored house cat. You see something walk past, you just kind of like side eye it. Walks past again, you side eye it. Walks past you a third time, claw. Don't even look over, just claw. That's you.
That makes sense.
See,
So
Annie's door agrees with us. The ghost is slamming doors and it agrees.
Okay, now she's telling me to be quiet.
Later.
Do you want to build a snowman? Another Disney property.
Another Disney property.
Oh yeah, how'd that snowman building go?
It was actually pretty fun. We went around, we hung out. My backyard leads out to like a forest, like a really wooded area. So it was, we had a little incline or a little, decline down the side of our hill. So we were just taking like our sleds and our snowboards and going down there. And no snowman was made because it was so not dense enough to pack. But
Oh
you tucked in that morning?
yeah, I like tacos in the morning. I love tacos in the morning.
See, we should just like, of course, this is exactly what Annie's saying, everyone. Of course, tacos are fantastic, especially when they have tuna in them. This guy, Mark, that I keep talking to, he says that tuna and hot sauce is one of the greatest things known to man.
Tuna and hot sauce. I'm sorry. I have no privacy or respect for myself or my space in this home.
You're eating tuna and hot sauce tacos.
I am,
It's
Mark.
fine.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
fine. Breakfast of champions, according to Mark.
Yum.
But here's the kicker: you have to mix it in with the eggs as you're cooking them.
Eggs.
Yeah,
Why did you put eggs in it?
you've never had
Or-
scrambled eggs, tuna, and hot sauce all together
I
in a
cannot
frying pan
say
and
that
then
I
throw it in
ever-
on a
I don't eat tuna. I don't eat fish. You know
You
that.
gotta love the taste of mercury for tuna.
I'm extremely allergic to the ocean, honey.
It's tuna.
It's fish. Fish
It's
goes
fish.
off my tum-tum.
You think that fish really come from
I
the
don't
ocean?
like fish.
Just kidding.
No. I'm allergic to shellfish. I'm allergic to sea salt. I'm allergic to sea sponges. And then most of the tropical fruit out there, I can't have. Fish hurts my tum-tum.
So it's a
Doesn't
good
happen.
thing you're landlocked, born in the Midwest.
Yep, because if I was in Hawaii, I'd probably die.
Places not to go. Hawaii.
But hey, at least when you get off the plane, you get laid.
Yeah.
Publicly laid.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only time you can legally get publicly laid. And no one says anything.
I did. I just did.
People take pictures. They put it all over their Instagrams. They showed their grandparents.
It's a whole
They're
ordeal.
proud.
When
They're
you
very
go to
proud of me.
Hawaii, everything happens. You talk about it. When you go to Vegas, nothing happened. You don't talk about it.
Unless you're in a hangover movie.
Unless you find Leprechaun running around.
Yes. Oh, the Leprechaun
Oh,
movies.
Leprechaun.
Oh, God. See, I told you we could make this last for another 3 hours.
Warwick Davis, you beautiful monstrosity. He also has a Disney Plus series coming out.
Oh, he does?
Oh?
He's Willow, remember?
Oh my god, he
The Willow
is.
series
Yeah.
is coming out.
I forgot that they
Which
decided to reboot
Also
that.
ties into Peter Jackson because Willow is a blatant ripoff of Tolkien and The Hobbit.
Yes.
I didn't know
Yes.
that we're still around.
Yeah, he's still alive, hon.
Huh.
He just doesn't like horror movies anymore.
Well, would you want to run around in high heels and say, Astrid Gold?
Okay, he doesn't even need to do any of his own stunts anymore. He can just stand there and do one-liners, and I would watch the hell out of that movie.
The dwarf farmer that does magic. Willow. Very cool.
Chris, to answer your
Dude,
question,
they could give him a pimped-out rascal.
How cool would that
Little
be?
rascal scooter, because remember all the different like vehicles and just little hijinks that he had in the first one.
Mhm.
They could totally bring all that back.
I think that we should just throw him back into it. It's going to be Willow, but it's just going to be another Leprechaun movie.
Yes, and he's not going to explain it, and then he's going to be yelling at people about his gold randomly.
I think that's how it should go. I think we got it down.
All right.
Yep.
So I think we're all starting to get to that point where we're kind of tired. It's
You're not-
almost 1 a.m. here.
It is almost midnight here.
So I think
I'm
we're
not
gonna...
tired. I'm just drunk.
I'm tired. I think Annie's tired because she's been yawning.
I am tired.
You're a little drunk, but
There's no little.
there is no
Very-
try. only
There's no
do.
try. There's no trying to be drunk. There is definitely drunk.
Oh my gosh. All right.
I can feel my face a little.
We're going to end it here, guys. Until next time, meet the Feebles. Was it that bad? Yes. Next week, the B movie. Is it that bad? We'll find out. So
All right.
go ahead and watch the B movie and then join us back next week.
I just actually during the promotion for the B movie, I just kind of thought that it'd be kind of funny if he kind of fell off that zip line. Just saying. You know what I'm talking about, right? Annie?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't
If
know
he
what you're
just fell off
talking
of it, it would have been funnier.
There was a promotion shot for the B movie, and it was Jerry Seinfeld in a bee suit on a zip line
In LA somewhere.
in LA somewhere.
And then he ziplined down off this like 10-story building onto the street below. And just, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know who thought of that idea. Dear God. I wish I had even seen
Not
that.
someone from the insurance department, that's for sure. 'Cause I'm
Jerry,
sure that
Jerry,
costs
got
a
an
lot
idea.
for
I got
them.
an idea for you. We're going to put you in a harness, in a bee suit, and you're going to jump. If you land on the ground, the bee movie will be great. If you make it all the way through,
Ouch. All right.
that's better than
On that
gonna-
note, I will
we're gonna
see
end
you
it here.
both next week on Is It That Bad?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.